Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody out there?
Kind of hard carrying this boss clean and looking so handsome.
I started with the bullshit early. I see. Again, welcome to Wednesdays with the crew, man. Salute to Crusader Nation in the building, deep as hell already, man. Salute to everybody that didn't hit that like button. Some of the show, man. Still got some more people on the way, but we're gonna jump in when they jump in. How's everybody doing though? Real quick, man.
Doing good.
Everybody good?
I'm Gucci, man.
Solid.
Doing phenomenal.
That's how you can tell somebody
Happy
getting money when they start
Women's
using words like
History
phenomenal.
Month. Huh?
History month. What?
No, I say that's how you can tell people getting money when they start using words like phenomenal when they just start like
A little bit of something. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, move. Happy Women's History Month.
Facts.
I got a quiet hookah now, so you ain't gotta tell me about my hookah noise.
Wait, what? Oh, you got a quiet hookah now. Oh, okay.
Yes.
It be bubbling in the background. Boop, 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 boop,
Right. Maybe they're complaining about it too.
boop, 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 boop.
What Kayla lying about already? I don't know what I missed. I'm late, but I know Kayla lying about
He's
something.
right. He lied about something already. Damn.
I'm not even going to address this early. I'm not.
How you doing? I hope you're having a good afternoon. Hey everybody. How y'all doing?
Good,
man.
Look at him switching up. Switching
What's
it
up,
up.
Uncle?
I absolutely loved your shirt. It's like,
Thank you. You know, I know we didn't plan it, but you know.
look, 1 week we were married. You was my man a couple of weeks,
Right,
about a
right,
month ago. Why not make it work?
Lord have mercy, man. Yeah, we got a hell of a discussion on our hands today, man. Figured out the topic on the last part. Actually stumbled into it. The difference between leadership and control, which brings us to the main question of do modern women today actually want to be led? I mean, we hear a lot of women say it. Sometimes I'm looking for a leader. I'm looking for this type of man that I can follow and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, is that a reality? So we're going to unpack that at some point today. But first and foremost, man, salute to all of the mods in the building. Salute to Crusader Nation in the building. Leaves in the chat. If you ain't put them in there already, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We appreciate everybody for pulling up on us tonight. Salute to Facebook, who we got chiming in with us today as well. It's going to be a hell of a discussion. But before we get any further, let me introduce this amazing panel like we always
Hold
do.
on, before you introduce. If the lights ain't up, we turn it off. Lights ain't up, we turn it off.
So if the lights ain't up, we're going to turn off the stream.
Yeah,
What up, bro?
Hey, Yella.
What's good? What's good? What's going on? What's up?
Not much, man. But yeah, just getting ready to introduce this amazing panel, man, real quick. OT is in the building. Smooth himself, the Dean is in the building. Our boy Jay Anime is in the building. The security boss is in the building with us this evening. See, when we pardon, the round of applause be longer than it be when I be doing intros. I don't know what that is. We're going to have to stress it out a bit. But we back. Miss Saida in the building. Boy Ronan is in the building with us. Taylor.com is in the building with us. And last but not least, my dog, Philosophical, is in the building with us this evening, man. How's everybody doing?
Please.
Everybody doing good. Everybody looking good. The chat is booming. Everybody sounding good. I think the likes are where they need to be. So without further ado, man, we're going to get right into the first question, which is controlling. Let's get the nonsense right out of the way first. We was comparing leadership to control. What is the difference, right? So when y'all think of control or a man that's controlling, what does that look like? I need one trait from y'all and a bit of context behind the trait that you give. When we're talking about a controlling man, what does that look like? Sayada, we're going to start with you. Go ahead.
By experience, I think it's someone that only asks for you to do or act or, you know, whatever request they have without any explanation. It's just because I say so. I think I mentioned that before. Like, my father was always very patient with me and try to, you know, always make me realize or see the reason why he's giving me the advices that he's giving me. He was not just saying, do it because I say so, but more like, there's a reason why. And, you know, it requires patience, that's for sure. But and I understand that sometimes it does require for you to like just do it right now, but then later on there will come an explanation. So I think that could be one of the differences that I can point out.
Okay, that's B.
Controlling, I say discipline. And the next word that comes to my mind is very directional. It's kind of like whoever that man is has an idea how something is supposed to look or be to him, and he wants to keep everything right there in alignment with that.
Okay.
So,
I like that. I like that. Anime, my boy.
Nope.
Controlling, man. What is the trait of a controlling man? What does that look like? And give a bit of context behind the trait.
A word I would use to describe that is extremely selfish, meaning that they only see things their way. They only will allow things to go their way, and like that's all there is to it. There's not even a my way or the highway. It's my way, and my way is the highway.
My way and my way is the highway. It's hilarious. Smooth. A controlling man. Give me a trait behind that, man. What does that look like?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Ignorant. I would say ignorant. Ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like he just want everything to go his way. He don't see nothing else but his way. Like that's a controlling man in my eyes, my view.
Okay. We're gonna go with next. Miss Kayla. A controlling man. What is the trait of a controlling man? Give me a little bit of context behind the trait.
So I would say, do I sound okay?
Yes.
Yeah, you
So I would say insecurity. Men that are controlling are usually insecure about something, and so they need to control the situation to feel secure about it. And anything that they can't control makes them feel less secure. And yeah, a lot of the controlling ways are usually rooted in whatever that insecurity is. So that's what comes to my mind.
Okay. Ronan. The controlling man. What is a trait that man typically exhibits?
Overbearing. Just like it's the thing is like one thing I hate is micromanagement. You're told to do something and someone stands over your shoulder and then complains while you're doing certain things to where there's a lack of trust. So that can really lead to someone breaking free or some violence, depending on how bad it is.
Real. That's real. Oh, controlling man.
Man, Kayla took mine, literally. Yeah, I was gonna say insecure. It comes from insecurity because they gotta control the situation, and they feel that if they let go of that control, things will go haywire, or maybe that person will understand who they really are. They really get to open their eyes. So keeping them, under their foot, I guess you can say, telling them what to do, how to do it without giving them any type of reasoning, that's controlling to me.
Okay. Ill. Controlling man. What is a trait that he typically exhibits? Give me a little context behind it.
I got to go with what Ronan and Kayla said. I think they kind of like pretty much summed it up. The micromanagement, which to me is a reflection of insecurity in itself, and I think that's really like a telltale sign. Easily intimidated when another man comes around. Always feel like you got to compete with other males when they come around for the simplest stuff, and not being able to know that your own limitations as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like I think knowing your limitations is actually a strength. You can be like, hey, I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Some guys feel like they have to jump in every conversation, have to be so competitive, and it just reeks of insecurity. And it's like, mostly a lot of controlling men behave that way. So, like I said, Kayla and Rona really kind of summed it up pretty well. Everybody had good answers though.
Yeah, I agree. I think trait that just comes to mind immediately is short-sighted. So busy with just dominating, you know what I'm saying, you, that I'm not realizing what the damage is doing to one, our relationship, and to two, my likelihood of success, my likelihood of like expanding even bigger than I am, or expanding the family and setting a legacy even bigger than I am, because I'm so worried about winning this individual battle with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, because a grown man, for one, is not going to be with a woman that he has to control. I feel like if you have to control her, then you pick the wrong woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's either that or you just have extreme insecurity, or both. But I think it's just short sightedness, because you literally have dudes who will pick a solid woman and still, just based off insecurity, feels the need to control her. And like I said, not realizing the damage that you're doing to the relationship and your likelihood of success. So that would be what I would say. Okay, well, now that we got the control part out the way, leadership, effective leadership. What is the trait of an effective leader? Since we are comparing the control versus a man who can actually lead, what does real leadership look like? We hear that word thrown around a lot. You know, I need a leader. I need a man with a plan. I need a man with. Give me a trait of what that looks like.
Leadership. I'm gonna go first on this one. Leadership to me. Oh, he said Caleb. Oh, okay. No, my bad. But leadership to me is a man that can calm the storm no matter what's going on. He's calm through it all, through all the chaos going on. I know the direction we're going. I can lead us there. Just put your hand on my back and close your eyes. We'll make it happen. That's leadership.
I'll go second. I'll say a characteristic of a man that's a leader is patience, because he's willing to not only have a plan, but to explain it to the person that's supposed to be going down that plan with him, and also giving her the grace and time to understand that, like, when you explain it to her, she may not just immediately understand or immediately just be like, okay, well, let's go with it. You may have to break it down so that, because she's going to have concerns and she's going to have things that she wants to have answers for. And if you have patience and you keep yourself mild mannered, you can explain those things. And then if you pick the right person, the ship goes where the ship goes.
I'll go next. I'll say a trait would be clear and concise communication. I think that's an effective leader, because they understand that everybody may not know his vision, but if you're able to communicate where you're going, how you want to do it, all those things to kind of make it easier and more digestible for whoever you're with, I believe that'll take you a long way. When that goes with communication.
All right. Let's see who hadn't won. SB, leadership. What is the trait of that? Effective leadership. Let me rephrase. Effective leadership. Give me a trait from a man that you would describe as that.
I think an effective leader is somebody that's humble, who's able to take communication from everyone, to listen. He listens. I think someone has already said that they listen well, and they take the information and then they make a decision on what to do. But they're also the example of how things should be. So humble enough to listen to everybody else instead of being like. But I got a question though: Is controlling a negative? Are we saying that's a negative?
That's what we're gonna break down today. That's
Okay.
what we're gonna unpack eventually, which is
Okay.
it's gonna be my
Okay.
my next question actually, but you kind of jumped in. But
Oh,
it's all
sorry.
good.
Okay, but okay, humble, and the ability to listen before making decisions.
Right.
I would like to add that effective leadership is pretty much the ability to influence others. Not just one person, a group of people. So it's kind of like what SB said, leading by example. And an effective leader will, like OT said, communicate, the right way, be flexible, open-minded, and responsible at the same time. Because, a leader will know that they have responsibility over their shoulders. One thing that I think is very important is self-awareness, because you as a leader know that we're not perfect. So if you must improve something on yourself and then influence others to do the same thing. So how you're going to tell somebody, hey, you need to improve your health, lose some weight, and you are not the most healthy person in the world? Just as an example, right? You can put any example right there. But I think it's self-awareness is one very important one.
Right. Ill leadership. What is a trait of a man that you would describe as an effective leader?
Once again, I feel like, I don't want to get too creative because everybody really kind of summed it up pretty well. I like listener a lot because when you're a good listener, you have a pulse on everyone in the house. You know how to reach the son. You know how to reach the daughter. You know how to communicate in their language. And I think an effective leader, he's an effective leader by how the family responds to him, how he's able to quell things, and how he has a pulse on the temperament of the home. And the temperament of the home is really a reflection of the man. So if the home is in order, that should show you a lot about the respect they have for that man. So like I said, everybody had great answers.
So while everyone was talking, I was thinking what I was thinking, and I can't shake it. And I think one of the best characteristics of a leader is someone that was a good follower. I will say this at work all the time when I worked in hospitality. The best leaders, the best managers is the people that worked here before. They know how to do everybody's job. They understand what everybody goes through. They can identify, they can relate to what everybody feels and deals with doing whatever job that they're assigned to do. And they know what it takes to do that job. So they're able to delegate people into different roles better. And they're just more compassionate. They're just always the better bosses, like the store managers that started in the dish pit or started as a hostess are always better than the people that come in with the hospitality degrees. They're always better. So I think a good leader also knows that, like, they understand that they report to somebody and they treat you as such versus like, I'm that guy. They know that they report to somebody. And so the managers that work knew that they have a boss. I'm the boss, but I got a boss. And so I act that way. And similar to, I guess, in relationships, a man knows that his leadership comes from God, that he's not God's given you the authority, but he's the creator and he really running the shit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Actually, I give two. Regimented and emotionally intelligent. And those two work hand in hand because, like, everyone under your umbrella, you know how to talk to them. You know how to get the best out of them. You know how to speak life into them. You can entrust them with certain things. That way they have that level of confidence and that bond there. And I'm talking about regimented. You have a pattern. Like if he gets up early in the morning, makes his bed, goes out and works out, he leads by example. His word means something to him, not just about what he said, but how he carries it out. And he has that level of trust so people can give him that room to move. And he's very considerate about everyone he's dealing with. That way he can get the best not just out of them, but himself.
I like that. I would say a trait that a great leader has is the ability to adapt. I think the thing that people forget about leadership is that, how important that the following is, how important that connecting with the following is. Right. So you may have a style in which like you receive information best and that's just, whatever. But everybody doesn't receive information the same way in terms of you getting the peak output that you want from them. Right. So I think a leader is able to kind of identify, okay, who do I need to pull to the side and have a conversation with? And who do I need to get dead on their ass to get the results that I need from them? You see what I'm saying? Because again, people have different personalities and the goal of a leader should be to get to the destination, get to the result that we're trying to reach, not necessarily exert my dominance. Right. And that's why what happens when a lot of people get in leadership positions, they forget, hey, we trying to get to the goal. So getting there in the most efficient way should be the goal. But some people just want to get in a leadership position and just drag my nuts. Show everybody that I'm the leader. I'm going to do it this way. Get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of situation. But like a real leader has the ability to adapt. And that's not saying from a foundational perspective. That's not saying that he just wavers in the wind. but that says that, hey, like if it takes for me to step outside of what I may want to do or what I'm used to doing in order to get peak performance out of this person, I got to be able to do it. So adaptability. All right, real quick, man, because Kenny telling me that the likes is down at an egregious level, man. Y'all make sure that y'all tap that like button while we pay some bills right quick.
All right, man. It was easy. See y'all next week.
Right. Y'all take it easy.
That's something OT would say. Trying to sneak out early, of course.
Hey, we do have a flight early in the morning though.
We do have a flight. But all right, man. First and foremost, man, we're gonna pay some bills. My dog Congo English in the building with the 20 ball. The crew season love what you all are doing. Stay authentic and informative. Godspeed. I appreciate you, big dog. We definitely trying, man. It's tough out here. It's tough out here on us. Tony Talk, 20 ball. I just wanted to show love, man. He say salute. Appreciate you, big dog. You already know. Miss Veronica, 20 ball. Says facts, Kayla. You have to be a great follower to be a great leader. It's a fact. That is a fact. Marcus in the building with the 5 ball. What's up, everyone? Dope, shocking answers. And where's my girl Lucky? Lucky taking care of some business, man. She'll be back eventually. Appreciate you though, fam. All right. Did everybody get a chance to hit the like button? I'm trying to make sure that I ain't forgetting nobody. Wait, I did. Elijah with the 5 ball. Great leaders are great servants. Sleazeball Tech in the building. Salute to Sleazeball Tech and the whole Patreon. Man.
Hope y'all putting that work in. I'm looking. Hope y'all putting that work in.
You see it? the Dean always watching, man. Y'all boys make sure y'all know y'all job. Y'all already know. Kitty T in the building. I'm selling hoodies. Buy one for the price of 2 and get the second one free. Hey, Mods, block him. But all right, man. Let's get into the next question. As B alluded to it, so let's go ahead and dive in here. What is? Hold on, let me pull it up. Is being controlling necessarily a bad thing? Because when people just hear the term controlling, it's just automatically negativity come to mind. Somebody got bad intentions, it's malicious, they this, they that. Is being controlling necessarily a bad thing?
Did you ever had a supervisor that was always on your neck, like trying to see what you were doing, and you just wanted to do your job, but they're always like, just let me see if you're doing. It's just more about monitoring what you're doing when you're a grown person that is doing your job and you need your space. And a leadership will trust your skills, and because obviously they know how to delegate. And usually a supervisor will be like, okay, you do this, but they still don't trust what you're doing. So they don't know how to delegate, because if they don't trust you, they don't trust your skills yet. So they should delegate that task to someone else. And if you know how you're delegating or whatever task you're delegating to someone else, you will be conscious that that person could make mistakes, but they need their space to develop their own skills as well. So that's the way I can put it, like to differentiate, because I can leave you alone. If you're going to make mistakes, it's okay, but also allow space for that person to come to you and ask you, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm not quite sure, whatever. So it's just controlling thing. It's different.
Can I jump in on this? I think with controlling, it's like, I think actually controlling, I think that can be a bad thing, because if I'm controlling, that means when I'm the reason that everything is moving. That means you can't move until I move. So I'm in total control. Now, to be an effective leader, some control is going to have to be allowed. But control and controlling is two different things. Control to me is a give and take. Control is a temporary phase. It's a decision we make at times. But and controlling means I'm making you move. If I'm controlling the car, then I'm making the car move. If the car is not controlled by me, it's not moving. So if I'm the only thing that's moving this vehicle of a relationship, I think that's negative. But to lead effectively, it does require some control sometimes.
I'll say I agree with what Ill is saying. And shout out to my brother Sheep Stay Sleep in the chat. I'm using him for example. Like when I talk to him, there are many things that I learned to control myself. If I say I'm going to do something, he holds me accountable for it. That's a level of control. You know, like a level of balance, accountability. Controlling, which I hate micromanagement, is when someone's like basically grabbing you by the scruff of your collar and moving you against your will, or just standing over there because they want to sit there and basically like treat you like a puppet. So that's my understanding of control. So it's about the application of it.
I agree with Illa and Ronan, but I just kind of see control as an individual thing because I think we all need self-control or control. We need to be able to control situations. But when you add the ing on the end of it, goes over into someone else. It's something that you're applying to a situation. Well, not necessarily a situation, to other people. And that could be negative. But I really don't know how you can be in control and not have authority. So to me, kind of authority and control go hand in hand. I don't know if we're just playing with words or not, but if we ask men to be in authority, we're also saying, if we say we give you authority, or you have authority over all things, and you make the final decision, you basically saying they have control of the situation. But when we add the ing on the end of it, it's almost like there's some sort of a suffering that comes with it. But I don't know if we're just playing on words or, I don't even know the actual definition of control. I could tell you what it is, but to Webster's, I don't know. But I don't know if controlling is actually should be a negative. I think that's maybe something that we've adopted and just kind of ran with it. So I don't.
I can give you a.
Can I give you? Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. I can give an example. We're talking about tact, like how I address you on certain things. Just saying, "Oh, you're out here fucking up," blah blah blah. It's not going to be received well. But if you have a way with words and learn how to talk to that person where they can receive it, you get in control of the situation. You can minimize certain problems. So that's how I see it.
And the controlling is continual. You know what I'm saying? It's
okay.
No one wants to be under that. No one wants to be under control, be controlled all the time.
Right.
Now, control, I think, is different. I think that's an open-ended situation because I can be in control, but since I'm not controlling, I can take your contributions to how I control.
Right.
But if I'm controlling, you don't have a voice, you don't have an opinion, you don't have nothing. I'm doing this, and you just get down and lay down. So control I think, is more open-ended than controlling. It's such a finality to that.
Yeah, I think most people just hear control and then just assume that my free will be taken away.
Right.
I think that's like the just wait, control. You want to control me? You want to control? Okay, so I don't have no say so in this. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. I think that's why it's so triggering. But I mean, what y'all saying 1,000% right? Go ahead, Anime, jump in there.
So yeah, what I was gonna say is I think control is more like mild, but once you add controlling, that's kind of where it goes. Like it's like anything. There's good in it, but there can be an extreme or a point where it starts to become bad. And I think that's where the ing comes in, like Illa was saying, like being in control is more of like a temporary thing. There are times where somebody has to make positions, somebody has to be the leader, have authority, decide what we're doing, where we're going, and in that moment they are in control. Whereas being controlling is more like it's always me, and it's always going to be me, and that's it.
No, I think with controlling, I want to. My opinion, this is my controlling thing. I want to control the direction of my family. I am in control. I'm controlling of that. Like I am the leader of this stuff, everything. Because if it fail, no matter what, they look at
It's
me.
your fault. Yes.
You get what I'm saying? They look at me. So that is a power structure that I won't let go of that. You get what I'm saying? But everything else, it is up for discussion. If you're better than me at it, then go ahead. If I'm better at it, then let me lead that. Let me control that part of us. The only part I want to be controlling of and control, 100%, is the direction of my family. That's it.
Yeah, he's smooth. That's why I think you're actually in agreement with us, actually, because like in the big picture, yes, you are controlling, but you are not going to sit there and micromanage and control every single aspect, even if there's things that your wife is better than you at. And I think that that's where it separates between being in control and being controlling. Because the person that's
Just
controlling is going to say, well, even if I'm not the person that's best fit for it, I can't let somebody else make decisions. So I'm gonna make the choice anyway.
Facts.
I will say that the verb control, and like anime say, is the ing form is progressive, so it means that it's happening constantly. And philosophical mention as well that you'll be tired because you're on top of it, so you don't have time to rest because you're controlling. Another example analogy, you're in control of how much money is invested in the house for the groceries because you're the provider, but you're not controlling how the cooking is done, what ingredients are being there. So you're not constantly there checking what is being done, how the laundry is done, and all those things. So those micro things, which is the micromanagement that they're talking, you're not consciously controlling that, even though you're overall in control of the entire situation. So I don't think we as women, we are not afraid to say, well, personally, I want to say it for me, I'm not afraid to say the man is in control.
Right.
But don't controlling me, because I've been in the situation that he wanted me to do the dishes before mopping and sweeping the floor. But I had I was organizing the house in a certain way, and in my head it made sense. But he wanted me to do it in a certain way, and I was like, by the end of the day, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna get done by me. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. It's not gonna alter. Whatever. So that's controlling, because you're trying to see every single detail, and at the end of the day you're getting exhausted. Yeah.
So is being controlling necessarily a bad thing? No, if someone's uncontrollable. But if they're uncontrollable, I don't know why you're with them. Are they your child? What's going on? That's the only place I see controlling being not a bad thing, because there are kids that need to be controlled. They out of control. Okay. But adults that can't control themselves, that are out of control, they need controlling too, but by a therapist or a professional, a clinician, not in a relationship. So I don't think outside of those contexts will it ever be a positive thing, because I think that being interdependent and working in tandem with someone is what you want in a relationship, not having to control everything that they do. So, yeah.
Here's a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you go ahead, Ron.
No, that's
Okay, I was about to go.
Man, I've been going back and forth with it. I think most of the times, especially when you first hear it, you definitely get triggered by it, and it definitely sounds like if you say someone is controlling, you feel like they're trying to make you less than. But I think that I think it's when you say it's too controlling, because again, you can control the situation, and you can currently be controlling the situation. It could be a present term as well. But I just think when it's too much and you abuse your power, because when you say you're too controlling, to me, you're trying to control every single part of the relationship, whatever, like every single decision you want to go through you. They don't even have no say so. I think it's those type of things, but you can still have control and be controlling in certain parts of the relationship. And shoot, women want to be controlled. Women definitely want to be controlled. Women want to be handled. Didn't they say that last week? The woman said she wanted to be handled.
handled.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, women want to be controlled. They want to be put in their place. You got to control.
And you can do that without being controlling.
Nope. You want to be handled.
You can handle and control without being controlling.
Real quick, this is off topic. SB and Rona, am I zoomed in enough? Because y'all were
Yeah.
asking me to zoom in.
Yeah.
I was trying. I'm trying to adjust. I'm like, I can't do it. I just gotta hold it by hand and move it closer.
Yeah, because you was broadcasting across the street. We just
Your head was about this big.
Lord have mercy. But I do have a question though. Just a sidebar. This wasn't even on the docket. But do y'all feel like the fear of people giving up control has more to do with them,
yes.
or the person that's taking the control? In your opinion,
I'll say
Either
that.
way, yeah.
No, I say that because
I both.
well, let's say like
both.
for example, when you guys have a relationship, you both control the narrative instead of allowing social media or outside influences influence how y'all move.
Mm-hmm.
That's controlling in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
in a mutual way. That's what I see.
Ask that question again. Let me make sure.
does the fear of giving up control? Let's say, for instance, that I'm in a relationship and I'm considering giving up control, but I'm kind of hesitant to do it. Does that fear have more to do with me or them? Typically,
It would have to do with me. It would probably have more to do with me and my thoughts about them, or my insecurities, or my, not willing to submit, is basically what you're saying as a woman. Not feeling assured that this person is going to take care of me the way that I would take care of me. Trusting in what this person has said to me that they're going to do. Can they handle me or take care of me as well as I can? That would all have to do with me. And I guess you're all right too. It would have to be me looking at them and their example of what they've demonstrated thus far. From what I've seen, I don't know if you're equipped to take care of me. Maybe you're thinking that way too. So I guess you're right. I think Illa said it both sides, or somebody said it both sides.
yeah. Which is like the reason I ask is because I think it's just crazy how a lot of women fear giving up the control, but won't necessarily take accountability for choosing wrong. I think that's the issue with it. You see what I'm saying? Because they'll be 100% confident in their decision making, but if you were, then would you really have to fear giving up control?
They're
Because you done
definitely
picked a
not.
man who's capable of leading. You done picked a man who got all this stuff together and all of that. So if you're that confident in your decision making, it should be easy, right?
They're not confident in their decision making. They're just in that space, whatever they're in, but they're not confident in decision making, or they know they're not making the right decision, or they know that person's not the right decision. And so I do think that either way, whether it's them, whether they are the issue or not, it's still you, because they're the issue and you're still with them. And that's the problem. I mean, that's a whole other conversation about why women stay in situations that are toxic, whatever. But I do think that, it's a result of your own insecurity, or it's a result of your own dissatisfaction with yourself in terms of the person that you chose. So it could be a lot of different things, like layered,
But something, if we're talking about marriage, it's that is definitely a different topic, because that's a deep thing. Because for me, when you get married, your submission is not dependent on your partner. So it's not your in marriage, your submission, it should be dependent upon your creator and the relationship that you have had with him, and what you are promised to do for him. And because remember, my belief is that God got us. So there's nothing that this man could really do, meaning that no matter what, it's still God got us. So I can't look at him for perfection, or that he's going to do everything right, because he is a man. He's not perfect. He may do something wrong, but do I say, okay, because you did something wrong, you're no longer qualified for me to submit to you? Or do I still understand what my vows meant and what I'm actually here for, and my role as a wife?
There are some decisions that disqualify you. Yes, there are some decisions that disqualify you. And if you make them, then you make them. You have to deal with the consequences. It just is what it is.
But that probably would be done before marriage, though. You probably would see, hopefully you would see those things before a person. You would actually marry a person.
No,
and you
some
would know
people are
that
great,
that's
and
not.
then one day they make a bad decision. Some people were doing just fine for 10 years, and one day they make a bad decision. So this whole, oh, you would have seen it before, all of that. I hate when people say that, because there are people that have been great all their life and then their mom dies and they start doing drugs. Like, things happen to people and they start behaving differently. So you can't say that because they're acting different now that you should have seen it, because sometimes you can't. But if you make a decision that separates, then that's the choice that you made, and we just have to live with it.
Well, I agree with that, because I don't think I would. I don't know if I would definitely run away from my marriage if it happened just like you described, because I would know that there is something going on, like you said, death or whatever, that plays into some mental for me. I think I would want to get my husband help versus just divorcing.
What if your husband took the mortgage money and said, "Girl, I'm about to flip this," and lost it all?
I don't think I would care about that.
What?
The mortgage money, or you mean the actual all the equity in the house?
Took everything. Girl, look, I got to play over here. I'm telling you, it's gonna go right. And then
Stop it. Stop it.
The thing is that most of the time people just think, and the way people think is like, one mistake, you're out. Mm-hmm. And the way that SB is thinking, that the first time you can help that person is obviously needing help and assistance, and probably help them to get out of whatever situation they're in. But usually divorce doesn't I'm hoping, right, that it doesn't happen just because one thing happened. Most of the time it's things that have been building up, that's for sure. Like, that there is a pattern, there is a behavior that has been happening, and usually women say, you know what, I'm done.
But what about this? We're speaking as though it's the man and the woman is just perfect. What if I've been demonstrating some things that were not wife-like along the way, and it was just ignored, and then he did do his thing, which all seems bigger than whatever I did. So now I'm like, oh, so since you did this, I'm out. That is just really not what marriage is supposed to be about.
You're supposed to get with your partner and work out your marriage. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, not give an excuse. Like, you did this, so I'm gonna do that. You tit for tat. You wanted to do that. Period.
But all wrongs are not weighed equal.
All what?
All wrongs are not weighed equal.
What wrongs are not? What give me an idea.
Elaborate.
Someone that is not willing to work, someone that is not willing to improve, nothing is going to change. It doesn't matter how much you want to help them. If the person is not willing, you're not going to save them. So
if they don't want the help, what can you do?
Let's say, what I mean by wrongs not being weighed equal, let's say you cheated, right? The woman cheated, right? He excused the shit. And then he backdoor and have a baby on you.
Damn.
That's not weighed equal.
Well, it actually
it's
the apple for apple, not apples to watermelons. Figure it out.
It actually probably is weighed equally. I get what you're saying. Them oops babies are a big deal. But that's a
give me an orange, a pear. Don't come in here with no watermelon. What's wrong with you?
But what would you do? See, I don't know, y'all. I would put that in overdrive and take the baby. I would be like, that's our baby.
Like some couples, they smoke weed. But if one of them went off the ledge and start sniffing cocaine, you think
relax? That's what we're not doing.
Too wrong. Hey,
that is actual drugs. Like, stop.
They both 30 wrong, but they not waiting. That's all I'm saying.
But wouldn't you see both of them at fault? I mean, if I did the intro, who says who's gonna fall off? If I'm over here entertaining the marijuana, who says that one day we both might be cracking it up? So
no, stop this. That is not a gateway drug. Stop that.
Yeah, weed ain't nothing to entertain.
That is not the same.
You don't do it.
Weedheads don't even hang with people who do coke. That's not even how that works.
Y'all smoking weed, and then he like, look, I'm gonna step in with some cocaine.
Oh, cocaine. Okay.
She thinks it's a gateway drug.
Nah. You
I don't know. I'm just saying, entertaining that. If you're gonna live that type of life, you can't just say that what you did was.
But that ain't no type of life.
Type of life.
Weed ain't no type of life. No, it's not.
That is medicine.
What type of life is? The Bible say, "Let the herbs be thy medicine."
That's
philosophical. It's what you do. If that's how you live,
but you putting it in like it's some subcategory category that if someone does that, that kind of puts them susceptible to some type of negative behavior, and that's just not true.
I don't know. You saying it
if
doesn't?
I'm not
It's
mistaken,
not.
no.
Okay, well, that's what you say.
No, I'm just saying it ain't even what I say or what you say is what it is.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying that? Are you saying smoking weed is not mind altering?
That's not.
I just asked the question. Yes or no?
Hold on.
I just asked the question.
No, it's not. What a lot of things is mind altering. A
Oh, so
conversation
that would be a
mind
yes
altering.
then, right?
No, hold
Food,
on.
but food is also mind altering.
But
Also
no,
has
but we're not
chemicals
gonna
in
limit
it.
it.
So does Advil,
Exactly.
over the counter drugs.
So does information too. When people get information, they alter their mind. They think they know something they don't know. So a lot of stuff will alter your mind, not just a substance.
So So what you saying? What's your point?
So my point is, you can't put people who smoke weed as this they deserve to be around people, or they susceptible themselves to people who are crazy or could take it on to like a higher drug. Like that's just.
No, you took that out of context. The young man said that both of us.
No, that's what you said.
No, I didn't. He said both of us are smoking weed, and then one day I decided to smooth. What was the drug you said that he fell off the cliff?
Cocaine. He started doing.
He said crack cocaine.
But you
So
said
I'm
the fact that
saying-
they smoke weed as if like they asked for that.
No, the fact what I'm saying is if we entertaining things like that, it could lead to other things. So why am I better? Because I chose to do it also. That's what I said.
That's not.
That's what I
That's
said.
two different. That's what I'm saying. But you think weed is synonymous with cocaine? It's not.
No,
It's
I'm
not.
saying to you, whatever
That's what
I'm
saying.
entertaining, what I'm saying, okay, let's do one different. Let's get off of weed. If I decide if my husband and I decide to entertain a threesome, and all of a sudden he goes out and get another woman, and then I'll be like, well, hey, you didn't run her by me. I can't get mad about that because
Yes,
I
you
was
can.
already.
That wasn't the agreement. The agreement
I
was you
can
run
because I
all
was
girls by
already.
me.
Hold on.
What y'all talking
I got
about?
one for you. So I got one for you. Okay, y'all both meet at a church, right? Y'all both meet at a church.
It's not
Y'all both. Hold on.
We ain't talking dirty, y'all. Go ahead,
Hold
Illa.
on. Y'all both meet at a church. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both on fire for God, right? But your husband think that God really be talking to him, and he told him that he need to throw you off the damn roof. Does that mean that you going to church put you in a position to be around crazy people?
It could be. Anything that's done in excess or received incorrectly.
Exactly.
But that's what I said initially, Illa. That's what I said.
No, you said weed initially.
Because that was the example on the table. I didn't say weed.
You put it like you put it like in a
that
little
shit,
pot.
Illa.
No, you just a weed smoker and you took it that way.
No, you just go to church and you took it that way.
I don't go. No, listen. It should have been a question because I don't go to church. But you can think that about me. It's okay. But so you took it that way.
Church. I was raised in the church.
But it's not the fact. I'm just being factual, and you took it that way. The example came from another person. That was
I don't understand.
Okay.
Whatever my doctor prescribes for anxiety, that's what he prescribes. What is your problem?
Thanks to y'all, I'm going to rehab.
You said doctor, like you got an actual degree, or you talking about like the real like you?
No,
Talking
I mean I live in Florida. It's medicinal. There are doctors. This is a clinical thing. What are you talking about?
Street pharmacy.
No, real. There's one right outside
I
of my
seen
house.
real talk. I seen weed heal people. Though. I seen weed really heal people, like who had like real sicknesses, like cancer.
Agreed.
I seen it help people.
I've seen it. I've never seen cocaine help.
Now I will give you this. SB. Smoking it isn't the best way to take it in, but you don't have to smoke it. You can eat it. You can drink it. You can put it on as a topical ointment. You don't have to smoke it. So I'll give you that. But just the ingredient of it, without the high, it's still good for you. You know what I'm saying?
But Illa, why do you think you have to explain that to me? If you
I was just coming back and showing you that you did have a point because smoking it isn't the best. So I was trying to give you some points. I was trying to come back.
You're gonna give me some points. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
On subject, cocaine users are immune to any sickness from what I've seen. Cocaine and crackheads are immune to
Kenny, go play a trap it. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you.
Crackheads that fall off buildings and run down the street. They don't care.
Hey, that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
That's how you know that stuff is not good for you. That's how you know.
Oh my God.
Nice
All
like
right.
this.
Yeah.
Great job.
You see, he wasn't never sick, huh?
My final point is boundaries are boundaries. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries in regards to other things, no matter what it is. So
And crack is whack.
I did have a
It's
question
very
before
whack.
we.
It's whack as shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Word up.
I said I did have a question before we got up out of here. The grace. I heard SB say, that if my partner is exhibiting certain behaviors that may be detrimental, I ain't just gonna walk right out the gate. So my question is how much grace do you give them? Because you said counseling, therapy, different things like that, and how much grace? Give me a time period or a scenario in which it's like, all right, this is enough. I'm out. Or does that never come because you took the vows?
It all depends on what it is, Definitely depends on what it is. You can't be in an unsafe situation, But I would always want to do as much, or if not more, for my husband than I would do for somebody else that was in need that I didn't know. You know how we'll go out and help everybody in the public. We'll be at the homeless shelter feeding, doing all these type of things, taking people to the doctor, just making sure they're good. But when our husbands act up, we'll cut their butt off and be like, no, I ain't fooling with you. And that's not how it should be. That was just my point. I just, but we know what the vows say, if those are the vows that you actually took. But, you can't be married to someone that does not want to be married to you. And there are requirements. So I don't know how to answer that question in a time frame. It all depends on a lot of things. But like Kayla said, she said that we went 10 years and there was nothing wrong. Well, not nothing, but this was not a person that gave me problems. And then all of a sudden his mother died and some things happened. So there was some sort of trauma. Oh God, I can't believe I used that word. But there was something that happened to him that made him not be his normal self. So I would want to investigate that situation before running out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else on the panel want to take that one? Grace.
I actually give them enough rope to redeem or hang themselves. And the thing is, like, while they're going through something, that communication has to be maintained. Once we sit there and talk, I want to see how they received it, how they take it. If it's consistent patterns I'm seeing, then I gotta take initiative. I gotta take initiative to put some matters in their hands. Because again, it's like if they're moving on their own program, something has to give. But if they're willing to work and improve themselves and stay committed to it, then sure, the door is open. But again, it's like you can't babysit liabilities. Can't do it.
And I think you can't. The grace period is to the point where you lose yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Till you don't even feel like yourself anymore. Till you feel like you totally sacrificed yourself to the point where you're not even enjoying your own life. Till it's trickulating to your own situation. Till you're not confident no more. Where you just feel depleted. Because once you hit your breaking point, I think there's really no coming back from that. For that situation.
I agree with that, Il.
I agree with that too. Like, but I'll put it this way: verbal warning, written warning, dismissal. That's the way I see it. Always. But especially if it is the same thing, the same scenario, the same thing happening, because hey, you kind of like made a mistake, but then hey, allow some space for that person to grow and make some changes. Then another mistake is going to be done, but it's going to be something different. Because if it is the same thing, then there we have, it's a pattern. That person is not willing to improve, is not willing to change. So
yeah, I think if it's outside of the ordinary, I think a discussion and whatever's going on need to be put on the table. Right. Especially if it's something, say if it's something dealing with the direction of the family or you know what I'm saying, like him switching up things or her switching up things to try to progress herself or something. That needs to be a discussion. That don't need to be in the unknown, right? Because people do things, people turn around and do things, and then no discussion to be had. And if something failed, then people want to walk away from it. Like they don't understand like the mindset and the thinking they had towards going the direction they was going. Right, outside of the death and all that type of things like that. If everything is normal and they do a 360 on you to do something else, you want to know why. Like what is your decision making? Like what do you see yourself with this? You know what I'm saying? That way you can get some logic behind it and make your own decisions on it. Right. But most people, they don't do that. Most people just let it happen and then they be mad in the background and then they keep letting it happen and they don't see the progression in it and then they want to leave. When the conversation could have been had the moment you seen it and you could have had some understanding, or you may have agreed with it but they was going about it the wrong way because they didn't see it the right way. So that's what I think it's about.
I agree with that. Plus, we have a bad tendency to miss something.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I just think that whenever it gets to the point that what you're going through starts to hurt me, or I start to hurt because of it, I think then that's when some changes have to be made. Because if you're not willing to help yourself, and yet I'm still draining myself trying to help you, it's going to start hurting me at some point. And so once we get to that point, you know, we have to seek professional help, or you have to go and get it together, and I'll be here for a little while.
How long?
For a little while until hopefully
He say 2 weeks. The streets is cold.
Stop it. Stop it. I was gonna say like 2 years. If we're married, I was gonna say like 2 years. But after that, it's like, come on, like
in my DM say I'm pretty.
Hello, like are you gonna rejoin the family? Are you gonna be okay? Gonna be all right? Yeah, but if you go down a toxic path, like it has to be your choice to get off of it. You have to make the choice to get off of it, and I can't force you to do that. So
yeah.
All right, so let's bring it down to ground level, to a level that everybody can relate to. Let's say the offense is cheating. How much rope? How much rope?
I always go to this.
Got to. I mean, we gotta make it. We gotta get real life because that's what everybody thinking. Like we've been talking about extreme stuff, cocaine use and all that. Let's break it down. Something that's extreme more relatable, right? Cheating.
Cocaine before 12.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so like how much grace are we talking? I'm talking about a married couple. Let's say 10 years, same scenario, Kayla gave. 10 years, everything cool. And then all of a sudden you go through the phone and you find some things that you wish you wouldn't have found. How much?
Just messages or flirting? Just messages or like
pictures,
videos,
everything,
everything.
First off,
it ain't nothing that can be. Well, okay, it wasn't. It wasn't really.
It is
I mean, it happens and it can happen, but
it happened.
Listen,
we're gonna have some conversation, but I don't think I'm running out the door right away.
We're not having any conversation at first. First, you're getting cursed out. That's first. First, you're getting cursed out, and you're gonna have to sit through my tantrum. Then, when I calm down, then we can have a conversation because I want to know like why, But first, you about to get this shit for real. Because what?
Okay. Here's
I'm gonna scare you with control.
Does the answer why? Does the answer to the question why matter? Just real quick before SB go.
I'm curious.
I think it's a thing that I'm sorry. I think it's a thing that women want to know, like it's for our ego, just to make sure that is she better than me, or like I'm not no one to blame. I'm not the person to blame. I think that's the way it is. I would rather not know, but I would want to know what did I fail on, like what did I do that made him, make that decision? And usually men say, no, you were perfect. It was me. But that's another thing.
It's not true. It's not true. It was me.
It's not true.
That stuff's
it's
never
not
true. But sometimes it is. Sometimes they're going through their own personal demons. They have their own personal stuff. And so that's why I want to know why. Are you going through your own shit? Have you not healed from your mommy issues? What is the problem? Like, you feeling you going through a midlife crisis? Like, what's going on with you? Or is it something that does directly have to do with me? And that's why I want to know why. I'm not saying I want to know details of yo cheating. I don't want to know any of that. But I just want to know why you did what you did.
So what Keisha got that throat?
Wow, Ronan?
Damn, Ronan.
Seriously? That's why you broke up our marriage? 10 years, 2 kids, and you go because of some throat?
The throat was throating.
What's the question?
Well, you see, that's where the leadership part comes in, because if the wife is lacking on something, why didn't you let her know before you going in that direction? That's where the leadership is, coming into place, because if you know that she's not doing something or something's not working, talk about it before you go and make that decision, because it's like the decisions that you were talking about before, those are like,
Was it the throat, or did you just want something new? Because I know men just want something new.
So, okay, look, Kayla, I'm glad you said that. What if he tell you that? Look, I just wanted to see what, you know what I'm saying? Like he just kept it all the way from like, you know, I ain't going nowhere. I just wanted to see what it was.
Saw them lips.
It ain't gonna fly.
What would you say to that?
You talking about a married man?
I'm saying that he comes to me and he tells me, babe, I just want something new.
Kayla,
No. He just said,
and you
I
know,
wanted to try something new.
Hey, Kayla, you know I love you, but I'm gonna cut you off. It's not that. It's honestly, when you look at it, the whole grand scheme of things, it's not who you are when you marry him, because he understands who he married. My thing is, we don't keep the whole culture. We do not keep and my braces are killing me. So that's the thing. But the person that he married, the person that he said, I'm gonna do this forever with, we do not do a good job of keeping that same person. And I'm gonna be honest, because I have been married and I have been divorced and I do have 2 children, but we have not always kept the honest, the truth, same job and the same like what we were supposed to do as a wife. That's the thing. We expect our husbands to be this, and that, and we hold them accountable for it. But when we don't make lunch, dinner, all this other stuff, we don't take accountability for it. And I'm right there with you. Because
we can order food. You going and sleeping with another woman because of some food?
Okay, Kayla, we can order that shit.
Because I can make sure the food here before you get here, whether I cook it or not.
Kayla, I can do that anything, but it makes a difference when Melanie actually gets in the kitchen. And like one of my kids that I coach asked me the other day, like, Coach Mel, can you make me a banana pudding? And I actually got in the kitchen and did it. So it makes a difference.
I mean, but what that got to do with cheating though? Like,
it has a lot to do with, because there is intimacy.
There's intimacy in making banana pudding?
Yes, because it's a part of your time. Like if you think about it, if you want to see the big picture of things, intimacy, when we think about it, is time.
Mel, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because the girl he going with ain't making him no banana pudding. She just giving the good throat. She ain't doing none of that shit. Actually, she ain't doing half the shit that I'm doing as a wife.
But Kayla, what she doing is giving him her time, and that's what it is. It's not even about fucking, because I can say, like, I'll tell anybody, I fucked up as a wife, and I said that, and I made that clear. I did, because I didn't know how to be a wife. But one thing I know now is to give him my time. And if I can give you 11 minutes, because that's how long it takes to make that pudding.
Not 11 minutes, that's all? Well, hey girl, if he get it done for you in that time frame, I'm not gonna hate whatever.
I ain't even saying that's what it takes to make him get it done, but that's the time I'm willing to give to you. Like, I can turn the pudding.
She was generous with 11 minutes.
She willing to give you 11 minutes.
So not go a goddamn nickel open.
You know what? What's so funny about it is, like, you, Sharon. I know I'm not saying your name right because I call you SG. Yeah, I can't say it. I'm from Mississippi and I got braces on. SG. Y'all look at it different. Think about the whole thing.
I'm sorry. Say that once more. Are you speaking to me? I'm sorry. Oh no. Okay.
No, how I'm giving you my time. Like, even if it's a small amount of time, I'm giving my man that time. It could be short, it could be long, but I'm giving you that time to like have with me. It could be, and I see you laughing.
I'm looking at OT. I'm trying to figure out what OT is doing right now.
OT, what are you doing?
What you doing?
Do your job. Do something.
But okay, so
First of all, most of y'all won't kind of agree, disagree. We gonna go back and forth. But my thing is, and I know I'm aggressive when I say what I'm saying, but
first of all, my voice deep right now because I had surgery Friday, so I had something that like made my voice. They put the thing in my throat. My voice is a little bit deeper. However, my thing is, a man knows when you're giving them that time, and we can make it little as we want to. But when you giving that man your time, like I'm a whole doctor out here, but Kayla, I know you're educated. Saida, SG, what I call you. I know you're educated around here. When you giving that man that time, that means something different. And I don't think we understand that.
We understand there's plenty of women that give their men plenty of time, plenty of ass, plenty of throat. If a man want to cheat, there ain't nothing you can do to stop him from cheating. Now,
I think
if
what
he's
you're
the
trying to
type
say.
that's cheating because of something
Kayla,
lacking, that's different. But if he's a cheater, he gonna cheat. Let's not excuse
Kayla,
those men that do that.
I agree with you with that.
Or people in general.
I am somebody that was divorced, and I was married, so I was giving him everything. So I do understand exactly what you're saying. But when we're moving into those relationships, we have to give them a part of us that we don't always want to give, and one part of that we're moving into different spaces is time. Now, I will say this, Kayla, and I'm gonna agree with you. When a man want to move how he want to move, he gonna move how he want to move. Because, like I said, I was married, I'm divorced, so he gonna move how he want to move. But in the grand scheme of things, when you have that man, when you have the good man, he be on time. He'll take the trash out. He will cut the grass. He will do all that. But he just be wanting you to make time for him to do something that matters to him. Like what matters for a man if you cook a meal. What matters for a man if you make him feel special. So people gonna move how they want to move. But I'm telling you, if I make that man matter, he ain't going nowhere. Next question.
All right, y'all. We got to get to these bills, Mel. I appreciate you coming up and providing some input, though.
And I will say, AC, I definitely appreciate you because I'm so excited, like to even talk to you because I know I talk to you without talking to you all
That's
the
all
time.
love. Yeah, no, that's all love, man. We definitely appreciate you coming up, chopping it up with us for sure. All right, man. We're gonna get to these bills. First and foremost, hold on, let me find where she at. My girl back in the building. Sandra in the building with the 50 ball. Starting trouble again, or almost. She about to start some trouble. I know how she do that. Just sending support and gratitude to Crucies in this round because I went in loudly last live. Thanks for trailblazing the real talk, man. We appreciate you, Sandra. Straight up. I'll tell you what my boy
She definitely did that last show.
Yeah, definitely. We was on there for like an hour. That wasn't even on the docket, but it was a hell of a question, though. Salute to her. Jason in the building with the 50 ball. We appreciate it. You gonna say black men don't cheat? This is all hypothetical. Of course it is hypothetical. Come on.
Of course, especially when he got that cheater name like Jason. You know.
Oh no, hold on. Man, name like that.
I'm just joking, Jason. I'm just joking.
All right, man. Marcus, the 5 ball. Thanks for being real, Mel. Appreciate you, Marcus. Web sling with the 5 ball. Saida, what if he did tell the wife what she lacked and she said, "Nuh-uh, get somebody else to do it." Now she upset that he did. Saida, you want to respond to that one? They called you by name.
Well, I think you're supposed to have these conversations before getting into marriage, like what you're willing to, do or not do, or your boundaries and how you're going to work it out. Because right there, like me personally, I don't smoke weed, never done it, never done drugs. So I don't want that in my life. But, in regards to obviously sex, it depends on what do you like. And if it's something that is really important to you, then you discuss it. I'm a firm believer on the role playing. So he's going to have multiple girlfriends for different occasions.
So there we have it.
If we are, you know how we promote women to not have any type of sex, right? So this whole knowing what you like and all of that, how do you know that if you
Man,
He can introduce you
maybe
had
to it.
sex before you was with this person, and then you get with them and you did have sex and you find out what you like, and what you like they don't like.
Exactly. I think men be a bunch of
It is a
catfish.
contradiction right there for men because they don't want a virgin, but they
They
don't want
don't.
someone that is fully
They
experienced.
want somebody in the
either.
middle, like
No,
not
we
a
don't.
virgin,
No, we
but
go
not
with a
too much
virgin.
experience.
I'm good with a virgin. Y'all like sex is rocket science. It's very easy to figure out how to do. It don't
I
take
didn't say
it don't take a book. It don't take 40 dudes for her to know what to do. It's super intuitive. You feel it and you're gonna know just what to do based on that feeling. So nah, I ain't going with that.
Hey,
I'll take a
ew.
virgin over that
I don't.
any day.
Ew, that's
I don't know
right.
if I
You
agree
is
with that.
right. But some people nasty level, I would say. Nasty level ain't the same.
Well, that'll
Some
come.
people at 20, some people at 100.
That's why you ask these
facts.
things before.
This is
That's why
facts, Smooth. Some people be not about that life.
Their
If she a
freak level
virgin,
will
you
You
can
need to
be
increase.
know
all that.
that
She could be all
before
that for
y'all
you.
get
She a
married.
virgin. You can show her how to do all that. You the
I
first
think you
Exactly.
Yeah, but if
teach
she's
a
not
woman. Like you
willing,
can show her.
if she's not willing, there's nothing you can show her. If she's Glock 3000, she's not willing to be that disgusting. There's nothing that you can do.
What you say,
You
oh?
can't do.
What you gotta say,
I
oh?
mean, there's when the
It ain't
leadership
12
comes
yet. We
in, you
talking
can
about golf.
influence that person
It's
to do
1207.
introduce
Well,
her
that's
the
right, your
right
time.
way, not force her
It's
to
12
do
my
it.
time.
It's 1207.
It's 12 my time.
It's 11 over here. It's 11 over here.
Conversation got real intense real
1207.
quick.
So
And by
listen,
the way, I did say Polly to have multiple women. I am going to be that girlfriend. I said role play because some people is like, oh
Yeah,
Hold
role
on.
play. I
Repeat
hear
that. What you
that.
say?
Slow
What
down,
you say?
slow down.
Hold on. What
She
you say? What you say?
I said I'm a firm believer of role playing. So he's gonna have multiple girlfriends for different occasions, but it's me, that person.
Oh, okay.
It's not multiple.
That's right.
women.
Oh,
That's
We
right.
need, we need
Like,
clarity.
So it, like,
that
hey,
sound
you
like
know
that
what?
sound like false
let's meet
advertisement.
up at the restaurant and pretend that we're
I want my
you
money
know,
back.
so I like that. But listen, Sahida, who's coming up with the ideas though? Who's coming up with the different personalities? Is it him or you? It's you. Okay.
What if I don't like the person?
That sounds
You
good.
gotta do some
he
personality
can
that he
pretend that
likes.
he's a doctor one day. He can pretend that he's single. He can pretend that he's gonna
But
cheat
if,
on his
talking
but what
about
if he
you.
wanted you to
I'm
be,
just
taking it back.
an
if he wanted you to
imaginary
be a particular
scenario.
character, you should do it.
Yeah. But
It's
what
just
if he wanted you to be a
imaginary scenario.
prostitute?
That's it.
If he buy you a whole
That's
costume,
my
y'all, not even
husband.
gonna lie, there was this guy
That's my
that
I
I
want you
dated.
to wear the see-through
I dated him for
lace.
like a
I'll
minute.
be like, get me something to wear.
Let me see your manager.
I need the stripper heels.
What if
Yeah,
he
all
wanted
the-
you
what?
to dress up like Welma? It's not Halloween, but he wants you to be like Welma with the short skirt and the ginger wig.
It's not midnight yet. No.
Amazon is a
No?
beautiful thing in that regard.
This cruise season after dark or something? What's going on?
It is.
How was the
It
after
is
dark?
after
Welma's from
midnight.
Scooby Doo. Like,
It is after midnight.
What is
dude.
going on tonight?
I don't
But
know.
listen, I'm agreeing with Illa because Illa, you're right. Her freak level can go up year after year. It don't have to start at 10 smooth. It could be at a negative, and then as they grow and get to know each other's bodies.
Because real talk, we too nasty.
Me
To
and
be
AC
honest, we
both
too nasty. That's
Walk
wrong.
3000.
We too nasty, man. It's too much new shit. It's too much new stuff coming out.
Listen, and Illa, they didn't even get high before they did it. See?
I'm gonna
What you know about that, SB? What you know about getting high before you do it?
I'm just agreeing with you, Illa. I am agreeing with you.
That was specific. She said, "I'm gonna get high before you do it." Like, because I know I'll be if I do it.
You told me.
SB.
I'm just learning. You told me. It's after 12 here, y'all. It's after 12.
Yeah, it's after 12. It's after 12.
But listen,
it's still a difference though. No matter how good someone may practice, I can shoot jumpers all day. I will never be LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? So I get what y'all are saying. However, there are some people who are just born with the excellent gift that you can never teach.
Bless.
Can I ask y'all a question though? Can I ask a question real quick? Can I ask a question real quick?
First session,
Lord.
too. First session. It ain't even a situation where they need time to learn you. I'm talking about first session.
Yeah,
Legendary.
they own it. They own it.
Don't
You gotta stay away from them
gifted.
type. Them type gonna have you hooked for a year. OT, you better tell them. You know,
That should be very scary to you, man. That
But
should be
y'all
scary.
don't think that the sexual
That is. That's very scary.
do y'all think though on some real talk though? I feel y'all don't feel like that the sexual appetite has gotten a little out of control like as time go on. It's like every year there's a new thing. It's like I remember it was just a nice body, tongue kiss, a little, foreplay. It's all like some of this stuff I feel like it's just suggested that you don't even need. It's just someone suggested to you. Now you do it. Like I don't want to give
us an example.
I'll give you an example. I remember one time I was in Texas too. I was in Dallas, man. So I was having an episode with a young lady.
Ew.
And she told me
what street, Ew?
No,
I was in a hotel. She told me to spit in her mouth, and I was late. I was late to the party. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But that's a thing now. It's like some of this stuff is like not even necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's just nasty for the sake of just being nasty because they've seen it it's like some of the stuff is just out of control. I don't need that much freak. I like places. We ain't gotta do everything. We just gotta do it everywhere. I'm good on I like sceneries. I don't gotta do all this extra shit, wearing all this goofy shit I don't need all that dumb shit. I'm good.
I got one question. After her request, I'm sorry, I just gotta hear this. After the request and she saw your expression, what happened next?
No, she just kept going. I mean, we was doing other stuff, but I'm just saying she just knew I wasn't doing that. I'm like, that's nasty.
That's all she wants. She wants to know.
I mean, y'all swap saliva anyway.
I know, but it's by mistake. I ain't doing it on purpose.
It's by mistake.
We kissing. I'm not gonna just huck two in your mouth. Like you ain't gonna spit in my mouth. Like that's some nasty ass shit. I'm not doing that. That's disgusting.
That's gross. Hold on.
That's what they be doing. That's what they be doing. They be spitting in each other's mouth. Like that's nasty. Or drooling in
I didn't know that spitting was going on in the mouth.
But you know what?
You gotta dig for it.
Oh my goodness! No.
Bro, everybody.
You know what I think it is?
It's getting wild out here. It's too much going on out here. Too much.
Now you're right. I think that may be extreme, but there are other things that are wild that are necessary.
Are you ready for that, Joe? Are you ready?
I think what I think it happens is that sometimes women think that that's what a man wants.
Really?
And they try to.
No, they be watching the movies. They be watching too many movies.
Yeah, because I don't know
and
where
they see it there, but that's not exactly what a man wants all the time. But they think in their mind that that's what's gonna make me perform better, and for him to think more about me and potentially want me more. So that's their mentality. That's stupid.
I mean, the skill level is really put on the man. The woman ain't got to do too much. It's the man that really make the experience. The woman just got to be receptive and submissive and a little flexible. Like it's really
like the sound of that.
Well,
that sounds like some shit
bet you
that
do.
I like.
I know.
I like that. Keep on with that.
Okay.
Keep on with that, because shit, I'll be on the bottom if that's what.
What the hell going on here?
I don't want to do nothing really.
Listen.
I really don't. But that's not what I usually hear. So I'm glad I'm hearing this.
How do we
I think what's going on.
New season after dark. Yo, Trill, that's a new show, Trill. That's a new show, Trill. It's time. It's time.
We can blame Web Slinger for this.
No, listen, I think that a lot of ladies are getting paid to do certain things or to allow certain things to happen, because there have been tales of women.
That's true.
Y'all know about the guac, but there's also letting them defecate on them, the golden showers, and the more that they accept, the higher the more money they make. Now, I didn't know it went on in this country, but I thought it went on. I heard about it in other countries, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an American thing. I thought they kept that over there at UAE.
A lot of women are going overseas and letting them do it to them. That is true. A lot of women is going to Dubai and letting them do shit on them. That's a fact.
Yeah,
for $25,000.
Like 25. I don't care how much it was. You nasty.
The money don't matter. This is a principle.
Yeah, some stuff. Yeah, some stuff. Money can.
All right, man. We're gonna
tears on
reel this thing back
Reel
in.
it back in.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? Let
Reel
me
it
know
back
when we do
in.
Trill After Dark, because I will tell some stories. I lived in DC and I've heard a lot of things about like diplomats and people. So we'll save that for then.
Well, they the wildest ones.
They wild.
Okay. We'll have to
Tea
talk
after
about that.
dark. Okay. All right, man. Appreciate you, Web Slinger. That was a hell of a detour, man. We didn't take some detours in the past, but that right there was a hell of a detour. Appreciate you though.
GPS
Sheldon
broke
Ward,
real
the
quick.
two ball, Matt something. My Ward family was subscribed, man. Y'all heard them, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Make sure that y'all tap that like button, man, if y'all enjoying the conversation.
Hey.
Trina
Daddy
said
War Bucks
25.
with the donation. We just wanted to show love. Appreciate you, big dog. Hold on, Sheldon again, just showing my love to my younger smart brothers spreading that G. Throw them leaves up. Y'all heard the man. Put leaves in the chat, man. If y'all able to type, if y'all watching it on TV, you know what I'm saying? You know, just take a sip of your drink or whatever you sipping on.
We got smart TVs now. We could type in.
True. That's a fact. Derek, 10 ball, some lines shouldn't be crossed. I guess he's talking about in the bedroom.
Thanks.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because some of y'all be wilding. But again, we're gonna say that for Cruise Season After Dark, man. We're gonna make this happen one night too. We're gonna start the show at like 11:45.
Oh my God.
Crew cognito.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
don't
be
worry,
like
SB, we
on a
gonna pray
Saturday
together.
night or something.
Y'all are not gonna.
We're gonna pray together.
We're gonna pray before and
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna pray first.
And during,
But we gonna
before,
get down to it in the
during, and
conversation.
after, the prayer will be
do
said.
it and after.
Facts. Fat boy for life to foul ball. Kayla, get you a big dude. Here I go, man. Third week in a
There it
row,
is.
my man trying to shoot
There
that
you
game.
go.
Oh, fat boy for life.
You see,
Appreciate you, fat boy.
hey, she say go to the DMs, man. I'm letting you know what she say in the private chat. Go to the DMs.
She said hit a DMs. Jesus Christ.
It goes down in the DM.
Marcus, you say golden showers are too far. I
Too
agree.
far.
But who
Too
are we to
far.
kink shame? We can't kink shame. Certain people enjoy these things. Now it ain't for me.
And with
But
certain people, a fight
Definitely
comes
not.
with
Mm-mm.
that's
Got
all
your
I'm
girl
saying.
running around here pissy. What type of shit is that?
Oh my God.
A lot of y'all already playing with piss, but that's another conversation.
That's another
I
conversation.
always wondered though, how does that work? Is it the woman?
Wait, what's another conversation?
How do we get that?
Golden showers.
Okay, the
A
go.
lot
how
of
does-
people getting them and I know they getting them, but that's another conversation.
That is another.
They're not
conversation.
getting them. It's a
Sue know
mixture
what I'm talking
of.
about.
It's
No,
not-
she
no.
knew it. No, that's piss. It's piss.
They're not
It's
getting no.
exotic
It's a
piss.
mixture of
No,
female
we'll talk about
fluids.
that later.
It's some
It's exotic.
urine. It's not all
It's
urine.
exotic piss.
92% urine.
It's not 92. I thought it was less than 30% piss.
It is
Hell no.
91.96.
I thought it was less than 30% piss. Find me the stat.
Question, Kayla.
Rainbow piss, man.
If you in the club and a nigga spill a Crown and Coke on you, is it liquor on you
Or is it
or is it Coke on? That's all I'm saying.
That's my
Oh,
you know damn well.
That's all I'm
It's
saying.
both on me.
Great point.
Mike,
God.
Mike the fireball. A true leader must always find the truth, even when it goes against his own truth. That's real. That's real, man. It's probably one of the most important traits. You got to be able to admit when you're wrong. Because if not, you can steer that car right off a bridge just by being stubborn and saying, I'm doing it my way. I don't care what the facts and logic say. I'm going my way. I made the decision. That's what we go do. And a lot of dudes do that. So appreciate you, Mike. That's real.
Yeah.
Kenny, I need.
I'm done with Kenny. He's just so. I cannot.
Kenny is insane for that. That's a inside joke, man. That boy's insane. All right, Marcus. Before you say y'all some freaks, no, man. I'm a child of God.
You ain't
I'm celibate.
Child of the Lord.
Boy.
All right, man. Let's get back on track. So the next question is,
oh my God,
because we were speaking about control, and people, I heard multiple men say, I can't necessarily protect you if I have no authority, if I don't have control over the situation. So I want to ask y'all, what does protection look like? Men throw that word around a lot. Protect and provide. Protect and provide. what does protection look like within a relationship from a man that loves you?
Protection looks like 4 P's: problem solving, provision, procreation, and excuse me. Yeah, sorry. It's about, mainly when we talk about protection, 90% of it is prevention. It's having that foresight and showing you there's certain way why we're doing certain things, why we carry ourselves in a certain way, because he can see the dangers that you can't, and vice versa. She might see things that a woman can see. So when we have that communication, we're covered on all fronts. That's what protection looks like. And the communication is open and honest. It's not what you want to hear sometimes. It's some things you need to hear.
I'll go ahead and jump in there. Yeah, Ronan basically almost took the word right away from me. I would say protection is more than just physical. It's risk aversion. So looking at things from all the different angles that you can possibly see them and saying, okay, which way is going to be the path of least resistance for us? Which way is going to be easier for us? Not necessarily just, oh, I need to protect you physically. It can be emotionally. Like there's so many different ways that you can be a protector for your woman besides just physically.
I like that. I could jump in there.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
I think protection is can be only as good as where she thinks she's vulnerable at. In other words, it might be places in your woman's life where she's vulnerable, but she don't feel like she needs protection. So it's like your protection is only as good as where she think your protection is allowed. Sometimes your woman might have friends or associates that are not good for her, and she might not take your advice to not associate with them at all again. So it's like she has to allow that vulnerable. She got to see places where she's vulnerable that you can see that she may not see, to allow you to even show her that, you know what, I even know I even need help in this area. So it's really up to her in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I agree. I think O had a video about it earlier, which I don't want to steal too much of his answer, but I'm gonna say protection sometimes is uncomfortable. It's way more than physical. Because a lot of people you got to protect them from their damn self. It ain't even necessarily outside forces. Because a lot of us are, good-hearted people or whatever, and we see more in people than we should sometimes, especially family and people that's close to you. And then oftentimes you will, sacrifice things that could be detrimental to our relationship for you trying to look out for somebody. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what a man come in at. It's like, well, I need to be able to oversee this thing, especially, speaking from a male perspective, because women are definitely like very, very giving, sometimes too giving. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a man is supposed to step in at, because we see things more so in black and white, even with our own homies. We'll be able to look at a situation and tell, like, you say, bro always asking me for money or whatever the case may be, but he ain't trying to put nothing to it. Eventually we're gonna be like, yeah, nah, gang, I ain't got it, bro. Nope. Ain't got it. You're gonna have to show me some progress and then I'll give you some, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna find a way to put logic behind it. But I've seen women, you know what I'm saying, that are like continue to do generous things forever, just hoping that they'll one day get some kind of reciprocity. Kids is another example of this. You'll have a woman that got a kid that's just out there just taking advantage of her, putting the family, embarrassing the family, acting a fool, going to jail, all these things, but she'll continue to enable that behavior. Sometimes even participate in the crime to do it. I've seen it happen. You know what I'm saying? And then when the man try to step in and be like, "Well, look, baby, that's my kid too, but damn, like my job is to protect you, but you just so giving and you just so nurturing the world. You putting us in jeopardy. You aiding and abetting and all types of shit. Like, so when the police come in here, we can all get locked up for this."
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the man is supposed to come in with that logic and protect her from herself. So that's a key aspect of it that I don't feel like a lot of people speak on. But yeah, protection is way more than physical. Way more than physical.
I definitely agree with that. Is one other thing too. It was basically protects the woman from the world. I used to tell my husband, "Be a collect the call. You need to get it." I don't need to be flustered about how we gonna pay these bills. All of that. So y'all are all right about that, and that's a big deal. All that's protection from the girlfriends, seeing things that women can't see because we are sometimes easily influenced and naive in some ways, and we'll give. So y'all all had very good answers. I agree with all of that.
Did everybody get the answer? I don't want to jump ahead. Remember?
No, I agree with everything that was said. Protection is a bunch of mental things. Anybody can protect you physically or all that type of shit, even if they're not successful at it. As long as they get you to the car in the house or type shit, anybody can do that. But that mental plane is totally different. The safety of knowing that everything else is good, that's totally different within everything going on around you. If you think something is compromised, that's when you have problems.
Mm.
I think protection. Oh,
I said there's another thing too. It's like let's say even if you're dating or even in a relationship, no matter what it is, you can see how that man demonstrates. Like if once he gets out the car, if he puts his hand on the small of your back and he's moving you some kind of way, guiding you to a certain place. If he's seeing you in a certain position to where he can see everything while you can enjoy your dinner and things like that. It's the little things that most people don't pay attention to. And plus, the other thing is like if you're working yourself to the bone, he's going to sit there and tell you need to slow down. I get you got the grind there, but what if you grind yourself to dust and I allow it on my watch?
The only other thing I was going to say is I'm not sure if it was said or not. I'm sorry, I got a phone call, but protecting our relationship is really important to me. So when anything, you come to me first. I get it, your homeboys. I get it, your mama. I get it, your daddy. I get it. But we have to be like here. Like you have to protect our unit by only discussing discussing it with me and keeping stuff that's supposed to be between us. That is so important to me. And it's like the emotional safety that I feel like I have in the relationship. And I just know, like, if this is a problem, if it's good, if it's bad, I know you're going to come to me, whether I like to hear it or not. Like, you're going to come to me versus getting advice and being influenced by other people on how you should handle our relationship. So to me, that's protecting it by not doing stuff like that and by coming to me first and protecting our information about me, stuff like that. So that's protection as well to me. I don't know if that was said, but yeah.
As Smooth would say, the overseer. That's what protection is. And that's physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's just all together. Protection can be all the above. And it's trust too. Protection is trust because, making sure that everything is taken care of. I'm making sure that no matter the situation, I have your best interest at heart. So no matter how you may feel about the situation, it's still an end goal in mind. And so going back to as long as you explaining what's going on, giving them directions, all that stuff, everything should be cool.
Yeah, I think another major part of that is foresight. Always being prepared for the worst possible scenario. And, that's why, like, ladies who not hip, like if you and your man walking on the sidewalk, that's why you stand close to the street. You and your man sit down at a restaurant, that's why his back is never toward the door. Because he's thinking of worst case scenario at all times. And I need to be able to make a move if it's, necessary. We want you to be able to just sit back and just, take your selfies and take pictures of your plates and things of that nature and just do what it is that y'all like to do, right? While we looking out for everything that could possibly go wrong in here. And this is why a lot of times like women be like, man, well, why we don't never go out to the club together, or why we don't never, because when that's the case, then we as men cannot necessarily have fun. Hold on, right there, my boy. When that's the case, we as men can't necessarily have the best time like that because we on guard when me and you at the club. See, you take it as, oh, I'm with my man. I can get drunk as I want. I can do what I want, whatever. My man gonna look out for me. I ain't worried about nothing in here. My man is right here, which is true. But with that thought process, as a man, we thinking about it the opposite way. My girl is here. I gotta watch everything. I can't get too drunk. I need to be on point. I need to be able to analyze. Okay, damn, them motherfuckers are getting a little too loud over there. Okay, it's getting a little too sad. Okay, DJ started up the crunk situation. Okay, let us move out the way. Like we need to be paying attention to all of that. And when we out, that kind of takes our focus off having the fun compared to when we out with the guys. It's different because we all on the same type of timing. So I feel like, okay, I can get a little, you know what I mean? I can sip a little more than normal because the gang is here. Just in case anything go wrong, we gonna go back to back and this motherfucker can get to the crib. But with your girl, that ain't the thought process. We ain't going back to back. My girl ain't doing nothing physical or nothing violent, or nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's gonna take away from the fun that I'm having. Now you having a blast, sure. But me, I'm on guard. So that's why, for all of the women that be asking that, because my old lady used to ask me the same thing. And once I explained it to her, she was like, okay, that makes sense. But go ahead, Ron. You was about to jump in there?
No, I was gonna ask, like someone mentioned about women offering protection. Like I say, my opinion is like how she carries herself, not just in your presence, but outside of it. How she protects your reputation. Because if she's a little bit loose out there, she's a breach of security, literally. And you have to be on guard with that because, again, like you got to watch how she moves and how everybody else is moving. So, or if she's in a situation to where her friends are compromising and her man told her, you need to watch for them because they're too reckless. And then a whole thing like a shootout or whatnot happens. He's thinking, like you said, doomsday scenarios immediately. So as far as protecting your man is like how you move effectively, that puts him at ease. And again, like a guy has to guard his reputation with his life. So if you out there just out in the streets with it, he'd rather cut you loose than rather than deal with that embarrassment of a problem that he hasn't been hitched to.
You know what? Wives also have to protect, well, not necessarily wife, but someone you're in a relationship as a woman, you do have to still protect your man, put him on game. You have to let them know how these women be moving out here in these streets. You have to let them know, hey, now see, you like they'll come and rub the shoulder. Y'all just laugh and giggle, I'm like, no, you better go on, girl. Men don't be knowing that stuff be going on. My husband has told me, oh, babe, I didn't even know that. Even those old college friends, they've been married, now they're divorced. They'll be like, oh, I'm in town. Come out. Let's go out and hang out. I'm like, babe, she was a married woman, but she's not anymore. Those are two different people. We don't go out and have fun with her anymore. You'll be like, oh, dang, I didn't even think about that. You're right. So it's a lot of ways that women, wives or whatever, can protect their husbands in certain situations. I be on it all the time with mine. Somebody say something wrong, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yeah, man, I think the thought process behind that in our head, we may seem like, damn, he's just being gullible as hell. But like, man, we be feeling like, man, it ain't nobody gonna make me do nothing I don't want to do. But with that ego and that arrogance comes, again, because women are real sneaky and real crafty. You know what I'm saying? So even if y'all don't do nothing, a lot of times women would try to just put the perception out there like it is. So just Absolutely. Like SB saying, y'all in a room full of people, she coming up to you talking, rubbing your shoulder, rubbing your arm. You think, oh, but in your head, I ain't about to smash. I ain't on that. Mm-hmm. But perception for everybody else looking around is like, okay, I could have a man if I want to. You see how he was flirting. You see how he was smiling when I was doing that, right? Like it's women out there that like that position themselves like that. You know what I'm saying? And that could be, that could be the downfall to your relationship, because in this era, perception is reality, especially with so many phones, so many videos and things like that. Me and the guys was talking about that earlier, like us having, face cards and stuff like that. Now, when we out moving, we got to be super, super careful. We known faces now. I mean,
yep.
I hate that shit sound crazy, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there watching, so you got to be on guard, like being risk averse. Thinking the worst case scenario, same way, perception. It's only so long that I should be talking to this girl. It's only so long that, so much smiling that should be going on. It's, hey, are you good? Hey, good to see you. Boom, we gone. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody outside to even think nothing is happening like that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, and just going on what Ronan said, it's on men to protect our woman mental peace as well. So a lot of dudes feel like just because I'm a man, I could be out here doing what I want to do. In terms of smashing chicks, in terms of flirting with chicks and all of this. And, my woman just supposed to understand. But the fact is that, you know, when you do those things and you out there moving reckless like that, you messing up her mental at the same time. So even if she doesn't leave, now the whole aura in the house is off, and now you got to deal with stress. You got to deal with a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, stuff that you shouldn't be dealing with because you're not moving right. So the same way she got to protect you when she outside, you got to protect her when you outside. Or just leave her and go do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But most dudes don't want to do that. They want to keep my relationship, but then when I'm outside, I want to do my thing. I want to be me. You know what I'm saying? And you can't have it both ways because eventually something got to give. Something gonna fold. And you know, you don't want it to be your relationship for some shit that's temporary. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
But okay. We're gonna get on to the next one, man. And it's gonna be a bit divisive, but we're gonna try to unpack it. Are modern men, incapable of leading, or are women just incapable of following today? It seems to be so much, you know, hassle, so many hurdles, so much resistance to a man that, you know, wants to come in and handle things, control things, dictate how this direction of our relationship and things like that are going to go. And oftentimes when a man comes in with that type of mindset, he faces a lot of resistance. So, you know, is that resistance due to the modern men, speaking from a general perspective, not necessarily a, you know, specific perspective to you, but from a general perspective, do you feel like there's a lack of ability in the modern man to lead, or do you feel like women are just incapable of following?
I think it's both. Could I go? Can I go first?
Hmm?
I think it's both. I think it's a lot of women that are not able to be led, or they only can be led to a certain point. Like they'll let a man lead, you know, with the bills. But as far as the intellectual or spiritual direction, she may be resistant to that. A lot of times when a man gets with a woman, he may have a different outlook on things, and he might want to show her different information or different, and she might be resistant to that. You know, a lot of women are scared to let a man lead them with their even or challenge their beliefs. They limit to how far a man can really take them. They only put it in a certain limitation. And then on the flip side, a lot of brothers, they only think they can lead physically or economically, but they don't really have any more. They don't really have any information or a different perspective to lead their woman in a different way, emotionally or intellectually. A lot of brothers, they just, if they not paying bills, or they don't feel a value, they don't know what else, another way they can lead their woman. You know what I mean? A lot of times a woman may be involved in different spiritual trains of thoughts. And a lot of brothers just, you know, they just put their hands up as if they don't have any opinion on anything like that, as if they can't learn something, as if they can't say, well, baby, check this out. So I feel like it's a little bit of both. You know, I think men are limited in how they choose to lead, and women limit in how they let men lead.
Yeah, I think we in a generation of other side watching. Y'all know how I say it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be on the top. Everybody want to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to put the grind in. Nobody want to put the hustle in to do shit. And then nobody want to work together. You know what I'm saying? The only way we going to progress is both sides working together to make it happen. Like people want to meet you at the tippy top, or you almost at the tippy top of your game. Well, for a man, when he at the tippy top of his game, he knows I can get most women to do what I want. Why would I settle for a woman that's going to, in a sense, have an opinion? You know what I'm saying? And same thing for a drop dead gorgeous woman. All I know all I got to do is stay pretty, and I'm gonna get the looks. So it's a whole lot of that's going around, and that's why you see a lot of women uncomfortable with themselves, getting the surgeries to stay relevant through all these years, to try to snag something at the top. That's just how it works. And we in the generation of that. And I don't see it changing for like the next 20 years, bro. Until people get tired of chasing something that only 1% of humans are ever have in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not gonna have the Rolls Royces and the mansions and all that type of shit. But right now we live in a generation where everybody think whatever house they move into, their final house is gonna be the big mansion. Baby, that's not it. My boy, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's saying I shoot for that, but realistic numbers tell you everybody can't be that. Because if you got more bosses than workers, the world will plummet. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think we in the generation of just people just other side watching, and they like nothing is enough. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is enough. So when we get to the point to where, all right, look, this is what I want. When we get here, we can be stable. You get what I'm saying? Like we can push some shit up for the family and all that. When we get to that point in generations, then that's when we'll see the head and the tail basically come aligned again, like they was in like the 60s and the 70s and all that type of shit.
All right, y'all, real quick. I just had to change the question to make it make a little more sense. I was reading it back. Are modern men incapable of leading, or are women just choosing not to follow?
Okay, I'll go ahead. So I'll bounce it off of what Philosophical was saying, and it had me thinking about what you guys said in the latest podcast. You have a lot of men who basically their only goal is to make money, and they can make all the money in the world that they want, but when it comes to their interactions with women, they're trash. And so a lot of men, like Philosophical was saying, they only know how to lead when it comes to financials. And then on the flip side, we have a lot of women that only allow men to lead through financials. They have certain men that they won't even be feminine and submissive for unless he's at a certain level. So I think like Philosophical was saying, it's a lot of both sides that need to improve.
That look, and to add on a little bit, we're in a generation where I hear what is that struggle love. Struggle love. I don't want to go through struggle love. Why I gotta be struggling with somebody to get here, get there, and all that type of shit, right? But I think that's the wrong perception, right? I think that's the wrong perception. Let's just take two women and two men, right? You give one couple everything. You just give it to them: the house, the cars, the money, all this type of shit. And the other couple, you make them work for that same thing. Now they're gonna get there, but it may take you 10 years to get there. Who's gonna have a better preparation to keep it? The ones that put the work in, not the people that's been that it gave to. They probably blow it because it was nothing that held them to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They had no preparation to get there. That's why most people that hit the lottery, they go broke.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. But millions and millions of dollars, most of them go broke because it was handed to them. No work was involved. So that's how people look at relationships these days, and I think that's the wrong outlook. Yeah, in my opinion, like if you struggling with somebody and y'all got motion and y'all going places, like y'all make steps to get there, that's not struggle love. That's putting the work in. I want my family to be this direction. Struggle love, in my opinion, is you with somebody and you just love them through anything, and y'all not progressing, y'all not going nowhere, none of that type of shit. That's struggle love. But if you with somebody and y'all got direction, and goddamn me, he deliver on every promise and she deliver on what she's supposed to do, in 10 years, y'all look back at everything y'all done built, was it really struggle? Or was it foundation and all that type of shit laid? Was a leader in your presence and you knew what you had?
And yes, Smooth, and what you were saying is exactly right. I think a lot of people want to skip the work stage. And so what has happened is a lot of topics, people tend to think of either the extreme positive or the extreme negative. So the term struggle love, they hear that and they think, oh, so if I want to avoid the struggle of, I need to find somebody who already has everything in place where it should be. Like, I need to find somebody who's already at the end goal. They don't want to meet somebody where I'm at the middle, you're at the middle, and we can work towards that. And I think that's a lot of that comes from people thinking of the extremes where it's like the negative extreme of struggle love.
And can
So
I add
Smooth.
on to that? I'm sorry. I was gonna say something real briefly. What you said was a good point, bro. And a lot of the insecurity and the mistrust come from that finish line mentality from both sides. Because then the man earned what he has achieved, and the woman may have got what she achieved. Now we looking at each other. Well, why are you really with me? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes going through things together builds the trust instead of just, okay, of course I already got the bag now. Of course you want to talk to me. Of course you want to be around me. My credit is good. So what really makes you want to be with me outside of what I've acquired? So sometimes, and then we get back to square one, because now it's like now no one trusts the other person. Everybody's trying to hold on to their assets because you don't know it's hard to know why you're with the person, especially as a man when he gets to that level. But go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because Smooth said all the time, if men make their money before they meet their woman, it will put a hole in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's for women too. That's for women now. We see it in women now. And what you gonna say, Kayla? I wanna,
Yeah. Okay. So to that last point, I do think that's debatable, because just because you're not going from the dirt don't mean you ain't got nowhere to go. Very similar to what Steve said about when he married Marjorie. Like, he went from being like Steve Harvey to being like Steve Harvey that's doing like after he married her, his career went 1,000. He was famous and he went through a lot of stuff with a lot of women, but after he got with her, he got a certain level of stability.
Yeah.
This is just per his words. This is his life. So, I mean, we can't dispute it. But per his words, he said he got a certain level of stability and peace with that situation that allowed him to excel even higher in his career. So I think it just depends on the man. And then also, Smooth, when you said that people don't work hard when things are given to them, I think that really I don't always agree with that, because I think that really comes from who gave it to you. Because there's certain things that certain people, when you have a legacy to live up to, like, and I know a lot of Nigerian people and probably Asian people can identify with this. And when someone made a sacrifice for you to get you somewhere, there's a certain level of like pressure that you have on your back to succeed, to do good, to do well. When someone's giving you something, when someone's made a sacrifice, when you've been put into when you've been given such a blessing, you have so much weight on your shoulders. And this is something I identify with two parents that come from the hood that gave me a very cushiony life. And it was just like, we work hard to give you this. You need to, and the pressure of living up to that, that blessing that you're given can also be a motivational tool to make sure that, it goes well. So I don't think that all people, where they don't necessarily have to like bring it from the mud or do, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean that there isn't building. That doesn't mean there isn't sacrifice. There isn't pressure. There isn't like hard work that can also come from that. So that's all I want to say.
I'm not saying you have to bring it from the mud. I'm not. Y'all can be millionaire people. Y'all can be all that type of shit. If the work isn't there, you are going to destroy it. I don't care what.
Yeah. You got to put in the work, of course, to maintain it and make it bigger.
So it's countless people that I know that's from where I'm from. Their parents did them a solid, left them a crib and left them a little money and all that type of stuff there, but blew it.
Because they didn't leave them a legacy. They just left them a house. They didn't leave them a trajectory of something. They just left them something. It's different when, like, my brother is the fourth and he has a family name to live up to and a whole like legacy of stuff to live up to. That's totally different than somebody just leaving you a house.
But that's not us as a community though.
But those expectations, I think that's more like upbringing, because maybe that's different. That's like rooted in the upbringing of like where you come from, who work hard to get you here and all of that. So maybe that's different. I don't know.
That's why people need generational wealth and not legacy. Mm-hmm. So they just worry about the money, generational wealth.
Because generational wealth and legacy are definitely different. There
is a known fact in the Black community: a man is at his strongest financially when he has his woman next to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you have a man with some motion, why not make him stronger?
Of course.
Instead of but in this generation, people get to talking, people be other side watching, and people step back and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just let them put it together." That's dangerous. Because if he put it together without you, he will never trust you fully. That's why men be looking like, damn, what do I benefit? Like when people make money, when men start making their bread for real, how do I benefit from being married? Because if you decide to walk, you take shit from him. That's just how it works. Now we coming up on a generation next probably about 10 years. It's gonna be soon. Y'all women making that bread now too. And y'all gonna look at it the same way men look at it. Y'all getting these degrees, y'all making that bread, and now you're gonna be looking at, if I marry you and you decide to walk, I got shit to lose.
That's been happening. Same reason why Yandy didn't actually marry Mendices, because I mean she married him, but she ain't legally marry him because of that reason. She was like, we married, but we.
So now think about all of the women under her that's not famous, that just got great jobs and great careers, that's gonna put in the 20 years and have great retirements and portfolios. Just imagine this woman marrying somebody at the tippy top of her peak that didn't help her get there, and then he divorces her in 5 years and takes 30% of what she built alone. That is crazy. So that's why I'm an advocate of meet your partner while you on the rise, not while you at the top. That way, if they do decide to walk on you, you will look at it, totally different. Like they deserve to have this, not they stole this from me. What's up, Ronan? Oh, you were just saying preach.
I think it's a pretty much going back to like the example you used earlier, Kayla, just that appreciation, like from starting from the bottom and working your way up. I think it's pretty much the same like in relationships. No matter what level you on, it's just that building with somebody that understands everything that you've been through, and then you go through those struggles together, and then you're able to have a vision and more understanding, as you grow. But to answer the question, are modern men incapable of leading, or are women just choosing not to follow? If you look at social media, you definitely can say that the women aren't choosing to follow. Going back to women making more money now, going back to women not trusting men, past experiences, trauma, whether it's dad, ex-boyfriends, whatever. It's a lot of those reasons that women simply aren't trusting men. I do feel that there are a lot of men out here who are ready to lead. They may not have the experience, but at the same time, they are ready for it. They're prepared for it, but they're just simply being overlooked. The women aren't going after those regular guys, those guys that's working for the county, working it, what I'm saying? Like those just regular 9-to-5 jobs or overnight. Like a lot of women aren't necessarily looking at those type of dudes to date. So going back to the pod, you got 30% of men just sexless, watching porn, like they at home. They not dealing with no women because women not really trying to deal with them. So I think if women kind of open their eyes up just a little bit more, and not be so materialistic about certain things and just excessive expectations, just extreme, like not even just average, for the most part. Like social media is really messing people's minds up, and they don't know how to separate real life and relationships. And so that will definitely get you jaded a lot of times. I think men have a better grasp of social media, in my opinion. But a lot of women are just, got to follow the trend, this trend, that trend. That's kind of how it seems. And everybody knows that. The media knows that. Everybody knows if you push an agenda towards women, like what's going to come after that. It's just wow, because women spend money like crazy. Women consume like crazy. So as long as you're pushing things towards women, like a lot of times they kind of going to fall into the masses, what the masses are doing.
So I think that everybody may be in this era. Marriage is supposedly changing, but I do still think that there are some people, men, that are still traditional, that want to be in their roles as traditional men and be married. I think with the women, We are heavily influenced by social media and the things that are around us, the things that we see. But I do think with a little bit of maturity and a little bit more time, women will understand their roles a little bit better and will want to be married. And I do think it'll all just fall into place. Now, going to what you all said about the struggle, love, and what have you, I do think a couple is better off when they build together. It don't mean you come from ground zero. I mean, if you're a certain age, you should have a certain amount of assets on your own individually, I should say. So zero is not the answer, but a man will trust a woman more if he knows that she's not there because of the material things that he has. And then she's willing to be an asset to him versus just living off of him. It's not that he won't give those things to her, but he needs to know, men need to know that the woman actually loves and care about him as the person versus what he can actually give her as the material things. So I don't think it's over as far as marriage goes. I just think that we just may need to grow up just a little bit. I just look at myself when I was younger. I got married young, of course, but there were a lot of people and a lot of women I think still think I can still play for a little bit longer before I'm ready to make that type of commitment. And you're just playing around. But when they decide and realize, hey, look, maybe it's time for me to get up under somebody, I think they will do that. And it may be difficult, because we have growing pains adjusting our lives when we've done so much on the outside of marriage. But I still think that it can be done, and women are willing to do it. And I think there definitely are men out there that want to be head of households, daddies, and all of that. So, and married.
I do think it's pretty just overall disingenuous when people say stuff like, they want to love me for who I am. Like I want them to love me for who I am and all this stuff. But like a lot of men do, like there's plenty of women, a lot of men would be married right now if they love women for who they are. But they don't. If you don't look the way they want you to look, if you're not palatable to their eyes or to their whatever, they not gonna love you. So I think it's really weird how we turn around and say, women, just love him for who he is. It's not about what he does for you and protect you, provide. It ain't about none of that. It's just about who he is. No, it's not. There are characteristics that make up who you are. And that is a part of who you are. But this whole outside of like these things are separate, that's not it. Because all these 30% of men, there's a woman around that likes them, that's been liking them, right? But she don't look, he don't even see her. He literally don't even see her because she don't look like, that's not something he want to see. So I just think that's so disingenuous. It sounds great. It sounds phenomenal, right? But there are desirability politics to everything. So there's that.
But
I agree.
Go ahead, Sayeda.
I agree with most of the inputs, and I definitely agree with SB said. It's more like the willingness, because I think it's a little bit of both, but men have the willingness to do it, and women want to do it. They want the marriage, they want the benefits, they want the status, but they don't want to put in the work. Like they are not willing to. So it's just like I want it just because I want it. And Kayla, yes, you do make a valid point right there, but there's women that think that just because of my look I deserve whatever too, because I also seen that type of because we have to also. But here is something that caught my attention to say yes and no. Back in 2021, I was dating someone. I gave him a chance. Within 20 days, I questioned myself and I said, I don't think we're going to make it. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. 20 days. And I already knew that it was not going to work. I was like, you know what? Let's get to know him more. It lasted 2 months. But I was trying to see like, okay, I'm not looking at the red flags. And, whatever I've said in the past, I am a submissive woman. So I'm willing to work. I want marriage. I want family. I want another kid. So all that I told him. But he was constantly comparing me to a type of women that he had in the past. And I was like, I'm not that woman. I don't know what, like and I think I mentioned this before. He even said, your cooking doesn't make me feel special because you do it for everybody. That is so normal to you. It was not an effort to him. It was not special. So I was like, I don't know what you want. I really don't know what you want. Then another, scenario is like, I have seen that bathing suit before. And I'm like, yeah, I wore it before with another man. And I'm like,
whoa.
I've been to the beach in different places, so I wore it. So and then I asked him, look, I don't know, like you told me earlier, you're complaining about American women that they buy, clothes every time they go out, but then you're questioning why I'm wearing the same clothes. So I really didn't understand that part. It was contradicting. So I'm like, I don't think you know what you want. You want a traditional, you like the idea of, but you still want something from the other side of the fence. And I was like, this is not for me. So that's an example that I can give you.
That was trash. Go ahead, Trill.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, Anime, did you get the answer already?
Yeah, I went first.
Okay. Yeah. Take on it. Are men incapable of leading, or women just choosing not to follow? I think there are plenty of men capable of leading, but I don't think women have belief that these men can actually lead, and it kind of stems back from their own personal experience and what they're seeing around them. I say it all the time. A lot of us have not seen successful marriages. We may have seen somebody that was married for a long time, but we hadn't seen successful marriages, because those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? So I think, going into that and then with their dating experience, and a lot of times women do choose wrong, especially early. And then, but those experiences weigh on their mental nonetheless, right? So when I do run into a man who's really capable of leading, it's hard to tell the difference until you actually in it. But that hesitation is going to be there. That I don't know, that skepticism is going to be there. So I think a lot of women are just choosing not to follow, especially women that have had to build their own lifestyle on their own. It's like, well, I done already built everything myself. Like, why do I like follow? Nah, you gonna have to show me, like really, really show me before I invest. And even then, it's gonna be a struggle to kind of let go of the steering wheel. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of dudes run into issues at. Which is why it's hard, because as a man walking into that situation, like how much grace do you give her? If you didn't contribute to her lack of faith in men, you coming in, stand up guy, ready to lead and all of that, but you got to climb a 20-foot barbed wire fence for you to be able to do your job, or for you to be able to take care of your role in the relationship. And a lot of men just get to a point, you know what, I don't feel like dealing with this. And it could be a great relationship if they was able to just get past that. You see what I'm saying? But I think, just women having that lack of belief in men, period, kind of makes them not want to follow. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the man's ability to lead. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all men are leaders. I would never say that. That's just simply not true. But I feel like there are a lot of men who are capable, but just not being given the chance for whatever reason. And I ain't talking about incels. I ain't talking about what I'm talking about, like guys that's like outside and handsome and successful and things of that nature. We'll still run into a woman who's also successful, and it'll be hard for her to give up that steering wheel. But as a man, I like natural duty is, like I say, our mindset coming into it, especially if we like really, really like you, our mindset is to take care of you. But a lot of women make that difficult, like very, very difficult. And then it gets to a point and be like, man, do I really want to deal with this? Like, she cool, she a dope person, but it's like she ain't letting me be a man in the relationship. She challenging me at every single end. Like, how long do I stay and deal with it?
So I got a question. Are the men, when they find these women that fit some of their preferences as far as the way they look or what have you, but they're not so cooperative, are the men having these discussions with the ladies to let them know, look, you gonna make somebody a good wife, but just not me because of this, and this, or are they just dismissing and walking away? What do you think?
I think most guys stay in the situation to try to see if we can make it work, or to see if maybe one day she'll kind of loosen up a little bit, and then it just gets to a point where we get so frustrated So we just go ghost.
You go, yeah.
You know what I'm
It's just
saying? But in
gone.
terms of like sitting her down and explaining, look, baby, this is why I'm leaving because you doing X, Y, Z. I don't really think that happens like that. I think the conversation may happen at some point in a relationship, but he's not gonna go hard enough to say he's not gonna go as hard as he should go to get the message across. So you are right in that regard.
No, I was just wondering because it's like it seems like the women are just missing it. We make the statements that there are good women out there that want to be married, and these men could see these women, they're good women, but it seems like for whatever reason they're just not getting together. And that means somebody's missing it or somebody's not getting a true message. They may think that they're ready and solid and could possibly be a good wife or what have you, but something just missed. And I just wondered because that could help a lot of women. And I'm not saying it's the man's responsibility, but if we're that close that we're dating and there's some interest and everybody wants the same thing, but for whatever reason we just can't make that connection, it just seems like that could be a simple fix.
I'll tell you what it is too, because it have been situations. Me and my old lady, a bit of transparency early in a relationship, because she's the same way. Like everything she got, she built on her own. So it's like when I'm coming in and I'm trying to be the man in the situation, the check comes, she reaching for her purse, or situations happen like she not necessarily like she walking to the door first instead of letting me open it, and I'm trying to explain to her these things, and it's just like she's like, "Boy, I'm sorry, baby. I'm just so used to that." You see what I'm saying? And a lot of men will sit their woman down and have these conversations, and they'll say, I'm really trying, but because of trauma or because of what I've had to deal with up until this point is really hard, and I just want you to be patient with me. So as men, we'll hear that and be like, you know what, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna try to be patient with you. But again, that's why I asked earlier about grace and rope. Like, how much time do we continue? Do we sit there and do this? Some men, like a lot of men, to give it a like real shot. Like, okay, I'm gonna work with you, and when you do it again, I'm gonna say, baby, remember what we? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But then if it just keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again, eventually the man is like, well, this ain't gonna work, man. What am I doing here? Like we homeboys under these circumstances.
So you're saying that it takes a bit of self-awareness on the woman's side too to actually get this thing right. She has to definitely submit to the fact that, hey, I am opening this door. Oh, that may be a little bit. Let me just allow him to do what he needs to do as my man.
Yeah,
instead of just, I got you.
Yeah, no, and the wild part is that them not doing it a lot of times is not malicious.
Right.
It's just muscle memory. Because of what they used to, you know what I'm saying? And that's a hard thing to break. If I've been having to do this, especially if she didn't grow up with a dad in the home. Yeah. So I've been having to do this since a kid to take care, especially if they the oldest. I had to take care of my siblings, and I had to do this, and the decision making was always on me, and that type of thing. And then she gets to 26, 27 when she meets you. That's a whole lot of programming that's gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, or reprogramming, pardon me, that's gonna have to take place. And as a man, I mean, and again, it's a messed up situation because, like I said, it's not malicious. It'd be different if she was like, okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. I don't give a fuck. But a lot of times it ain't that. Like they really wish they could change. They really wish they could be different. But it's just hard to let go because of muscle memory and that lack of trust. Because they never seen or they never had like a real dude in their life, a real grown man in their life that they can just kind of take their foot off the gas pedal and just, okay.
Right.
I have another question, if I could just ask the single men on the panel. So do you guys it's OT and Ronan, right? Y'all the two that are single, OT and Ronan.
When you say single, that means non-married?
You're not married.
Okay.
Non-married.
When I file my taxes this year, it's gonna be okay.
Single.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm just making sure.
But you might
men are never single.
This may be real good for you because it sounds like you're in a relationship. Do you have the conversations, or did you have the conversations with your ladies initially that you would prefer to build with them, or your expectation just in relationship, not marriage, just in relationship where you are now as single men, on how you foresee your future Did you have that conversation with you preferred to have Bill because if I was here, this may have not worked for me? Do you all express that in when you dealing or dating with women?
Yes. I mean, not exactly like that.
Of course not.
But yeah, of course, just like how I see my vision, how I see us in the next couple of years, as far as, getting a house or whatever, just getting those things in order. When you want to get married, we know this going to cost this much. And just, knowing that we got to plan and allocate funds for certain things. Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah. Especially in the beginning, you got to kind of let your vision, be clear and understood just so that you're on the same page, especially when you're serious,
Yeah, I agree with that. And the thing is, like, I'll get to the first question, other question first. But that when it comes to that conversation, aside from us talking like that, I have to question myself: what am I going to do for the follow through? What am I reading? What am I learning? Who am I talking to? Getting sage advice from? And how am I going to apply that to my movements if I'm moving in that direction? It's about not just worried about what she's doing, because I have to pay attention to that too. But if I'm supposed to be, the head allegedly, I gotta get sharp. I have to make sure I'm on point and be the man I say I am, or aspire to be, rather than just do a little lip service. But as far as the original question, I believe both of us are governed by fear. We're afraid of what life is like when we divorce ourselves from our negative narratives, because like on both ends, we're led by what's lit. If she's the it girl as far as neighborhood, or she looks good in her arm, you got most guys who will follow that. You got guys who lead with their wallet or lead with their lie. You got some women who lead with their features, or they don't feel like they should work for anything. That's why they don't appreciate an honest relationship when it's right in front of them. So I say for both of us, we got to start learning how to trust in not just each other, but mainly ourselves. If we're not in that position, we have to groom ourselves to be prepared for when it comes, we don't get stage fright. We don't run off because adversity is supposed to test us. It's supposed to bring the best out of us. But again, everybody wants everything to be grandfathered to them. And this is why you get people who get those temporary relationships, because they don't have anything to stand on. When the money shifts or even a slight degree happens, they're not built for that, that challenge. And they rather run rather than stand and deliver.
And that's why the discipline is so important, because when those hard times come, people are going to go back to what's comfortable. And oftentimes what's comfortable for us is detrimental and non-productive behavior in terms of how we handle things, in terms of, like, again, that letting our guard down piece that we were speaking about earlier. Like when things get tough, arguments happen, things that and third. I don't need you. I got everything I built on my own. That's just the natural instinct when situations happen within a relationship, more so than sitting down and communicating and say, you know what, okay, how can we fix this? Or how can we build here? How can we continue going down the path? People go back to what they're comfortable with, which is why it's so easy for men to like check out of relationships without leaving them, but check out of relationships because it's comfortable for me to just be out here shooting at a bunch of women. Me and you in this relationship is actually more unfamiliar territory to me than the opposite, and more uncomfortable territory for me than the opposite. Being able to just deal with women whenever and however I want to at my own leisure and not being obligated, not having no kind of responsibility, just getting all the benefits that I want to get from you. And then when I'm done with you, next girl type of situation. That's comfortable. That's what we wired to do. So for us to try to make this relationship work, yeah, that's way more than.
Do y'all really be saying that in arguments and stuff? Does that happen?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Say what?
Saying what?
Like, oh, I built this by myself. No. I don't need you. Is that stuff that people really say? Like, what are y'all arguing about that you would say that? I'm confused.
If you have something like this, if you see a consistent pattern that is causing problems in a relationship, you done talked about it and it becomes remedial. Like, this is where they're stuck on that. We sit there trying to attack that head on. What is the issue here? What are we doing here? What can we do to fix this? Or how are we moving here? Now, if you
no, I get that. I'm just imagining in my head. I never have had an argument where either one of us have been like, I got this shit without you. I did this before you. Like, what are we arguing about that we would like, even if because there was an argument over money before, but even with that, it was never like that. It was I don't know. I'm
got one
I'm
for you,
thinking
Kayla. I
about
got one for
what
you.
circumstances.
Hit her in the head.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Example, right? Let's say these same independent women that we talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about those women, and like I say, she had a rough upbringing in terms of being able to let go and just let a man be a man, right? Let's say she runs into this man and she tries it, and then but again, she's still successful in her own right.
Mm-hmm.
She making her money, but the man come to her and say, "Look, baby, I don't think you need to be buying that Chanel bag. You're not in a position for that." Now in her mind, she gonna be like,
I make my own
I can
money.
afford the bag. I'm paying for it myself. What are you talking about? You don't think I should? But again, him as a man having that foresight, trying to be the man in the situation. Well, baby, I understand that you can pay for it, that you can afford it, but that's just not smart of you to do right now. As a matter of fact, like you need to be a bit more disciplined in your spending. You've been spending way too crazy lately, and I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You see what I'm saying? But this right here is a perfect example of it. So as a woman hearing that, with the upbringing that I'm talking about, she gonna look at him and say, "Who the hell are you talking to?
Yeah.
I'm a grown woman. I make all my own money. Everything in this closet I bought with my money. How you gonna tell me how to spend my money?" So that's how it can come up.
Okay, I can see that now. I can see that now. And I can see that coming up like that if that came up like that, especially because there's no like plan attached to it. It's just because, like Sayeda said, it's because you say so. Like, what is the reason? I have the money, I can afford it. You say I've been spending crazy. What okay, tell me why. What you saying? What? We save it for a house, we save it for a car. What is the reason? But just because you say because I just don't like you spending bread like that because I can't spend bread like that. Like what is the reason?
Yes.
What is the reason?
Yes.
Wow,
Tuck
OT. See that?
Yeah.
Like what? That's
Every
not a
now
good
and then.
reason.
Yeah, it is.
I'll buy
every
you
now
something
and then.
too, babe. I'll get you something.
Nah, but see, look, that right there is not even important. You what you missing is you missing is that my man is saying that it would be smart for us not to do this. So if you
Right.
trust that man
Why?
enough, then
Why?
you
Like
should
let's
say,
say
okay,
Why
let's
is
say
it
that you
smart?
need
you're
a
telling me this
refrigerator.
for a reason.
Let me give you the why. Let's say that you need a refrigerator and you want a new refrigerator that double door.
Yeah.
But you want him to buy the refrigerator from his money, but you
Okay.
don't. You have the money and you prefer to spend the money in a purse or something else
Mhm.
instead of pitch in to get the refrigerator together.
No, but that's
That could be
valid
an
though.
example.
That's valid
Because
though.
yeah, but a lot of women are not doing that. They want their money spent on them for their stuff because it's just selfishness.
But the fridge
And
is for me because I definitely be at the fridge. So
exactly. That's yeah.
But
So
what
Give
if
you
it
another
was
example though. Just
so I would
let's say that we
understand him
trying to
being
move
like, we
into
need
a
to
new
get a
spot
fridge.
or we trying to make certain investments or whatever that I feel like right now this play could set us up right if we go in the way that we need to go in on it. Now
Mhm.
again, you may not understand the play fully. I mean, I can sit down and break it down to you, but if you're not like in the finances or whatever, then it's gonna sound like foreign language to you. But me being your man, you should trust my judgment, right? Not only man, your husband. We took vows in front of God and things of this nature. You should trust my judgment, my leadership when I say, hey, baby, buying that Chanel bag is not the move right now. I had vision in mind to set up this play that's gonna help us out 5 years down the line. So
Mhm.
we may got to get dirty for this year to do it. Are you willing to? And a lot of women will agree to it and they'll be on board at first. But then month 6, 7, get a little antsy. She ain't got to go spend that $500 to get her hair done in a minute. She ain't got to go buy that $900 bag at Chanel. She ain't got to go do these things that she been that she been wanting to do doing all her life, and she has the money to do. She's making the money to do. And it's hard to just accept the fact that, hey, my man said don't do this, and I got the money right here. I could go do it myself. I don't even have to ask you.
But if you
But
see
that
him
ain't the
making the
point.
same sacrifices that you're making, I don't think that any woman would have a problem with that. I really don't. But if you telling her, listen, you can't have the Chanel bag, you can't have none of the stuff you want to get because we need to do what blah 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 for the family, and then you turn around and you got a new motorcycle and you got the shit that you want, then that's the only way I can see a woman having a problem with it. But if you say, hey babe, we trying to make this investment, we trying to buy a fridge, we trying to do blah blah blah, and we're both in on that plan, I don't see anybody's being like upset with that. But if
I
you
do.
telling me I can't buy shit, but you coming home with shit, that's not gonna go over well. Like that's probably the only reason.
I do, and this is why, right? Because most men are just naturally low maintenance, especially if we got a family. We could be getting to the bag, but how often do you see a man just go to the mall? I'm talking about a married man with a family, things like that. How often you see him just go to the mall and just drop thousands of dollars on clothes and outfits and things like that on himself only? Not, I'm gonna get me something, get us something. No, himself. He take a couple thousand to go to the mall and get something for me. Right. Most men are not wired like that, right? So a lot of women to take that as, well, you asking me to do something that you do anyway. So you ain't really sacrificing nothing. But I do. I like to go buy expensive things. I like to go do this. So what us both doing it, you ain't really sacrificing nothing. This is your natural behavior. Yeah. So that's where the like argument can come in at, because it'll seem like he asking me to make drastic changes and he ain't really changing anything or saving anything.
But what if it was just simple as we're married now, I'm the head of the household, I'm in authority. Baby, the Chanel pocketbook is not a wise decision. I'm protecting you. Because who knows what might happen next year. COVID might happen. I may not be able to work. It's just not wise. How about that?
But that would require foresight, SB. And most ain't going for that. Like, you get that you ain't my daddy thing, or like, I got my money and she calls an on audible. So when emergency situations happen, now you're looking to me, we're in a deficit now. So God, as Phil's been saying, it's like that level of foresight, you have to plan for rainy days, especially sometimes to protect herself from herself. I know you have a tendency to do certain things. So I had to stash a little, a couple dollars here and there, because I know your tendencies. That goes into not just the communication, but I see what you're tending to do. That's knowing yourself and that partner.
One pot.
As a married couple, though, I do think that that you have all the money. Y'all have a budget system set up. So that's why it's hard for me to even see this, because anything, me personally, that I'm going to buy that's like something extravagant is going to come out of my personal account of my personally allocated funds, versus like our joint account that both of us put like 85% of our income into this one account. And we we pay for everything out of this account, but we both have our own separate 15% of the work that we both individually went to work, and should have some autonomy over some of that money to do whatever it is that we want to do. I think that's more healthy than micromanaging each other's individual expenses. It's just like, listen, we know this is the family account. We know what happens with this money. What you decide to do with your little 15% in your little account, that's what you that's what you should do. That's so and we ain't even got to fight about it. We ain't even got to worry about it, because
what if he decides to
set up the budget and how the stuff works. Now, if we're buying a house or making some type of major purchase like that, obviously things may be alter in terms of how much, additionally each person needs to give. But I think that when we have to discuss, if we are married at 21, whatever, but if we married at 34 and we have to discuss every single, like we have to go back and forth or have any kind of discussion about every single purchase, I think that it's creating unnecessary like arguments and drama that we really don't need,
But no, Caleb, that's not it though. What I'm saying is that even in the scenario that you just gave, let's say that, our design budget is, putting 85%, whatever, and 85% of your money is a lot to put in the joint, but that's another conversation. But we gonna keep
that's
that
though.
85% of what you make going into the joint account. Yes, that's a lot. But
I keep 15% of my money. You keep 15% of your money.
Right. But okay, so let's say that's the arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, the man may have a place set up for investment and say, you know what, baby, I know we keeping 15, but for the next year, we're gonna need to bring that to 6 or 5.
6%?
Or 5 in terms of leisure money. Right? Again, most women you're gonna have to write a thesis paper.
I want a PowerPoint.
Right, for her to understand it. And what I'm saying is that should not be required if it's your husband.
Right.
telling you, hey, baby, this is necessary for us to get to where we're trying to get to, for us to achieve our goals. And I feel like that's the problem.
I want to use my mom really quick as an example. Her and my stepdad, they were getting ready to move into a whole different house, nicer neighborhood and stuff like that. And she had this conversation with me. She was like, when he was breaking everything down, she was like, none of it sounded fun. Because he was like, we got to cut this, we got to cut this, we got to cut this. And so she just looking like, like, no. And at first, she was kind of rebelling at first, but then like, after you have a hurdle here, have a hurdle there, and then he come back and like, again, we got to cut this, we got to cut this, and she was like, oh, okay. And then once she did that, they was able to get the house in like 6 months because she followed the program. But at first, she was like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. She's like, it didn't sound fun, so automatically her guard was up, and alarms was raised and stuff like that, just because it just didn't seem fun, and how she processed it, of course, it was like, I didn't want to do it that way. She's so used to doing it her way, so
no, I'm glad it came down to that, because my thing is it really came to fruition when I was sitting there listening. And Kayla, I gotta give you credit. I admire your tenacity. It is fucking outstanding. I'll say that. Right. But the thing is, women are capable of being led. By who is the question? Mm-hmm. Because many times over, you start either outside influence, talking about family, friends, her ego, things like that. Instead of, if she's married or even in a relationship with that guy, can she trust his leadership? Has he his follow through? Or is she there for the ride until she can jump off and follow her own agenda? That's a big question.
So how much does he have to prove out his leadership? Like, they're dating, whatever, they're working in a relationship. How much do you think that a man should have to prove out? Because you can say, whatever, but how much, or like how long? I don't know if it's how long, because sometimes it's just situations happen in life and people have to act, right? So sometimes it's just that. But how much do you feel like he needs to prove his proof of concept before she can say, okay?
I think it's more like things that you notice at first. So by the moment you say I do, you're willing to follow his lead.
No, before we get there, I meant just like in a relationship.
So you don't trust a man's word and just the words. I personally don't believe in that. His actions must be aligned to his words for sure, and that's how he's proving his leadership.
Right.
He's not, from the relationship dating, he's not asking me things to, to change in a certain way. Like, it will be respectful at all times. But I think by the moment you say I do, you're already kind of saying, this is the deal, and I'm respecting your leadership. So that's the way I see it.
Real quick, guys. Today is officially my wife's birthday. So happy birthday. She just walked out here. So I just wanted her to hear y'all say
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
She said thank y'all.
Oh, that's so sweet, man. Look at that. New love. I love seeing new love. Yeah.
Out there cupcaking. That's what's up.
That's so cute.
Yeah, Kayla, your model for how you handle the finances, that's actually what we've done. So we have a joint account that both of our direct deposits go straight into, and then the last week of the month, after all of our bills are out, we just take whatever money is left in there and we split it in half. So she has her half of it, I have my half of it. So when she wants to go buy herself something, she don't have to ask me, because we know all the savings is taken care of already. All the bills are taken care of. So what you have in there is up to you. If you want to save it, you can save it. If you want to spend it, you can spend it. But again, I think every couple has their own dynamic that works.
I like that though. I like it. It keeps the hostility down, I just think yeah.
I was thinking that again, the conversations that needs to happen earlier in a relationship, like, what if he tells you, hey, in case that we go through a financial hardship, and we need to cut certain things, what are the things that you're willing to give up, because I think those conversations have to happen. And I'm telling you by experience, I was with someone that he really was questioning my hair product. And I keep my natural hair, and I don't use much, but just like some cream, shampoo, and conditioning. He was like really like asking me why I was buying so much hair product. But I was like, to maintain, my natural hair, it requires. So for my next relationship, I had to say I can give up to anything makeup. I don't do makeup much. I don't do nails too much. Every now and then I do, but the hair product, don't mess with that.
Non-negotiable. It's a
If not, you're gonna see me
non-negotiable.
with a bun every time, and you don't want that. Because if you met me with my curls, and I want to keep them that way, just know that it requires something to keep them that way. So I had to explain that, and I had to tell him, But I was like, hey, I get it. If we go through like really, really bad, of course, I'm not gonna decide the babies, or the kids' school or something, about something that belongs to me. But I mean, it's conversations that need to be done earlier.
Yeah,
that's what we're not having like we're supposed to. It's not just the conversation; it's the commitment to what's being said. Because it's one thing to sit there and talk to each other about that, but if you're not following through,
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
All right, man. Real quick, we're gonna take this time to pay some bills, and we're gonna get to the last question I think it's the last question of the night. But real quick, man, security boss with the 20 ball on stage showing love, man. We appreciate you and everything you bring to the table, man, as well. Yeah, we're gonna try to get y'all out of here, bro. The last time it was 5 hours. We ain't going 5 hours again. That was a long time. I didn't realize it was that long. But all right, Miss Cynthia with the 20 ball, just showing love, man. Put the leaves in the chat, man. Y'all heard the woman. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all hit the like button if y'all ain't hit the like button already, man. We appreciate it. Grizz Treats, the 20 ball. Question for the panel: how much understanding do men deserve? Last week we talked about a lack of respect, but I also heard things like account for her trauma from exes and high school heartbreak. Do men deserve less?
Less understanding?
Less understanding?
Grace, essentially, is what he's asking. He basically saying like men have to give women grace all the time due to childhood trauma and stuff like that they are unaware of. How much grace do men get in that same regard? Or should men get in that same regard?
Men should get the same, if not more.
If not,
you should get the same.
Especially if they are expressing the fact that they are going or have had traumas. We definitely need to deal with it. It shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah.
There we have it. Appreciate your Grizz Treats. Marcus Two Ball very well said, Smooth. Yeah, Smooth was cooking earlier, man. Appreciate you, bro. PFP social media with the 5 ball. 70% of wealth is gone by the second generation and 90% by the third. Prepare them to keep things going effectively and sustainably through prenups and trusts.
Yeah,
it's fact. You got to start moving smarter. A lot of us don't come from situations to where money is built up. A lot of us is the first. So, these are things that we definitely need to research and implement so we can protect it. For sure. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Marcus the 5 ball. In this era, are most women marriageable?
He said most.
Most.
No.
Most are just bookmark booty, sadly.
You're running in these analogies, man.
I mean, they be coming from left field. You just never know where they're gonna come
bookmark booties.
Oh, and then you got guys who are tender dicks, but it's one the same.
One day, Ronan, somebody's gonna make a compilation of all the analogies you make. They're just gonna drop on YouTube one day. I'm not saying I will or will not be affiliated with it. But
25%.
Get a dictionary. I need it.
These are the views of Ronan. Ronan alone. If y'all make that compilation, do not put that Cruise Season logo on there. Appreciate y'all, man.
I'm putting Trill right next to him. Not in his head. Somebody get a clip of Trill nodding his head in agreement.
Hey, matter of fact, for everybody that be clipping up this live stream, stop putting my picture next to stuff that I ain't even had to say no words in the conversation. Man. Come on, dog.
I don't even talk, and my face be on stuff. Like, why am I here?
I ain't said one word in the clip. It's a 12-minute clip. I ain't said a word. They got me posted up.
One word.
Just happy to be here.
Like, why?
Just out of respect.
Because you're the face. You're the recognizable face,
Remove
and
my
we gotta
face.
get the clicks. We gotta get the like.
No,
I ain't mad
no.
at it, but it be drama though. It's like, you put me with the drama. Why can't be with the like good conversation? Then you got me smiling like I'm just enabling the drama. Come on, man. PFP social media with the 2 ball. I spoke about Proverbs 31 woman early. Proverbs 31 woman earlier.
Yeah.
That's facts. B. Garnett, Temple. I believe a lot of men are capable of leading, but we often compare leadership to money.
Yeah.
All money is an amplifier, not a sign of leadership.
Yep.
It's very true.
There's
very,
some
very
certain things you can't rent, lease, or buy. It should be internal.
Mm-hmm. That's facts, man. Web slinger with the 10 ball at Caleb. But what happens when a woman that got overlooked blows up? She be on some quote unquote, if you wasn't here at my worst, you don't deserve my best.
Oh, I hate that.
But only men get flack for having that mentality when it comes to money.
So
what happened was,
it's hilarious.
I mean, okay, so what happens when the woman overlooks, gets her glow up? I mean, very similar to what happens to men. They like that person starts feeling themselves a lot. But I think a person that's like mature will realize that they've glowed up and realize what they changed about themselves to make them more desirable and not have that mentality. You know what I mean? You glowed up, meaning you went from to that. That means that when you was, you wasn't that girl, and that's okay. Why would they have wanted you then? I'm just saying. You didn't look like you look right now. You didn't look like that. Okay. So I don't think you should be mad and say, if you wasn't at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And that includes men. I get it. You were the nerd. I get it. And but you went to the gym. You finally got muscle mass.
Don't do it, Trill. Don't do it.
You can't be mad that a woman is more attractive. You can't be mad that a woman is more attracted to you now than when you was a nerd, all skinny and it's understandable. So I don't think that.
Right? I was the corny kid in high school.
But I don't think that applies. If you wasn't at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, unless you're talking about somebody you were in a long-term relationship with. Saying that like people that didn't want you when you was ugly should like they don't deserve you when you cute. That don't even make sense. You was ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that was. OT over there on his Michael B. Jordan phase. I was the corny kid in high school, right? And he still heard about that. To bring it up, he still hurt. He's still mad. He's still hurt.
Of course, man. Because you never forget when people was talking down.
Yeah,
you never forget that. Some people just don't bring it up just out of couth or whatever the case may be. But you don't forget.
But he even admitted that he was corny. Yeah. He admitted, I didn't go out. I didn't have friends. I didn't go outside. I stayed in the house. I just kept my head down. I did work. I didn't socialize. You were corny. So what's wrong with that? I thought you said that was your edge. But now you mad that somebody was making fun of you about it? You need to pick one. I thought that's what you wanted.
Hey, he
said he was corny.
Yes, he was like, I was always different. Well, he didn't say I was corny, but he said I was always different. I never was social. I didn't hang out. I wasn't like really involved with people like that. I stayed at home. I focused on my studies. I had my head in my, you know what I mean? So you wasn't cool. You weren't that cool. And that's okay.
He was a cornball because he was focused on where he wanted to go.
Yeah, but you can still be focused on where you want to go and be social and be outside. What do you mean? My friend works for Serena, and she in college she was social. She made tons of friends, and now she was like, so some people just are corny and they're socially awkward. They're not social people. They're not charming. That's just not a part of their natural personality, and that's okay. I don't think that that's a bad thing, because a lot of the people that was popular in high school, they fat and ugly now. They're not even cool no more. Like they fat, they ugly, they single moms. Like I'm not mad at anybody that was talking shit. I'm not mad at any of them. Like I'm not. Look at you. Look at me. I'm not mad.
Kayla is hilarious.
I'm not mad.
She said,
really
"Oh man, no, we ain't gonna even repeat it." Marcus, I thought in a marriage you have to compromise something to achieve.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Both people do. Mm-hmm.
Definitely do. Primetime Andy with the 10 ball. Y'all missing the biggest issues. It's not joint accounts. It's student loan and credit card debt. The issue is if you try to correct your significant other, she'll go to war over buying that bag or taking that trip.
Nope.
That's factual.
It's not good.
That's factual. Appreciate you, Primetime. Miss Sandra back again with the 2 balls. It's glitchy for bigger donations this show. Check.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube be I don't know, man. YouTube be on some weird stuff sometimes. I done ran into that issue a couple times as well. I don't know, man. We definitely have to look into it though. Appreciate you. The real 2 balls.
I don't think that her man is a Pookie, and I don't think her ex-husband is a Pookie either.
Wow.
Nope.
There we go. See, Kayla got context.
They military men, both of them. Pretty sure.
Oh, come on now. Really?
What? They are.
Damn, Ronan, she threw you right under the bus.
I mean, just damn.
Don't throw me in there, Ronan.
Wait, Ronan, how you get in it? You not dating? Wait, what?
Never mind. Sandra with the 2 ball, learning to build super chats over here. I appreciate it. Hold on. Look, she just figured it out.
Sandra girl. You better do it.
Tell you, man, Sandra is rich, man. I don't know what she do for a living. She need to give up tips, man. We're trying to get that dog, too. Say, here we go. A man only protectors when partnered. If a man is a quote-unquote natural protector, then single men should be safe toward women at any time, correct? Why do we need protection and address? Why prevention?
Fellas.
Again, and that comes from foresight. It's the foresight that a lot of women really are clueless about. Because knowing how, first off, I think some women know, they just simply don't care. But I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about the women that simply just are just naive, because a lot of women can be naive on certain situations. Now, men know how men are. And especially if we're going to a certain place or a certain area, it's just, one, it's about representation. If I have you on my arm, I want my woman to look presentable. I don't want my woman to look like I just paid for her off the street. Okay? So that's one. Two, if I'm with you, sometimes that comes with, unwanted attention. You got men that are bold, especially if it's like 2, 3, 4. I've said this before. It happened to me. I'm walking with my girl one time on the just on the walkway. I think we was in Miami or something. But I was walking on the walkway and I had to walk by a group of dudes. My woman wasn't even dressed like that. But men gonna be men. Well, niggas gonna be niggas. And they was like, what's up? Whistling and shit like that. And so I stopped, because I wanted to turn around and say something, but I was like, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So men in general are savages. They can be rude. They can not give a fuck. So I have to be prepared and be ready to respond for shit that I have no control over. So that's just, you know what I'm saying? So why feed into that more, or why even give other men even more of a chance? Because we cannot control that. And for the part of protecting women at any time, that's a tough one, because men don't mind protecting women.
Right.
However, some situations can be difficult. There was a situation recently that was on the news to where a girl was getting her ass beat down at the gas station.
Right.
A young man, a civilian, tried to jump in, intervene, and the boyfriend ended up killing the guy that was trying to help. And guess what the girl did? Got in the car with the man and drove off.
Yep.
I'll use me for an example. It was a neighborhood. It was like Thanksgiving or Mother's Day. I was at my grandfather's house. Everybody getting ready to leave, saying bye. We talking outside. We here just screaming. We see a dude dragging his woman, dragging her. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like 19, something like that. Me and my brothers all outside. We deep. So we getting ready to go down there and handle business. But mom was like, no, like that's their situation. Like, let them be. And guess what? 2 minutes later, she got in the car and they drove off together.
Yeah.
So it's hard trying to protect certain situations when it could be fatal for me. And I got family, I got friends, I got people that's dependent on me. So do I, as a man, risk my life to do the right thing? However, it can end up bad, and then now more people are affected by it. So it's tough.
And then something I want to add on top of that is most men are natural protectors. Most men naturally know what the right thing to do is, but we also understand that there are men out there who do not care. They know that it's wrong, but they simply they do not care, and so that's why you have to have the protection. It's like, why wouldn't you tell, like, everyone knows that it's wrong to steal, that you shouldn't steal. You still wouldn't encourage a person to go out to the most dangerous area in the city and just walk around flaunting all the money that they have, because you know that somebody's gonna be crazy enough to say, oh, that's a lick, I'm gonna go get it. So it's the same thing. We know that it's some of the things that men do to women are wrong. They're egregious.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that simply do not care, and that's why the protection has to be in place. Because there are people out there that they don't care. They know it's wrong, and it's not going to stop them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the thing is, like, you have to have a level of discernment, because not every situation you think you can go in there and save, you never know it's a setup. Because there's people who, you know, set those things up. Like, there's guys who sit there and like try to be generous and like give a chick a cigarette. And that happened in Chicago, where a bunch of chicks got around there and stabbed the hell out of him until he died. So you have to follow not just your foresight, your intuition. If something feels wrong with your gut, baby, let's get out of here. Because the guy has to really read the room, literally. So he got to walk a certain way to make sure he doesn't look like an easy target. And number two, it's like he's got to be aware of surroundings and making sure you get out that situation too. And plus, like I say, when most people don't talk about it, if I have met your family, your mother or your father, if something happens to you, in a sense, I take it on myself to answer to them because of that situation, because they met me before. They trust me, or they trust you in my care. So I got to hold myself accountable to that, because you're still their child. That's the other part of that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's wild just how instinctual it is for men to just kind of morph into the person he need to be given the situation he walk into. And what I mean by that, right, is sometimes like you'll be with your girl, and like y'all may walk into a restaurant or walk into just somewhere, right? And it's, you know, just a few dudes around who, again, you as a man, we analyzing everybody, and these dudes could be a threat. And you and your girl could be laughing and joking before y'all get in there, and then we walk in there, and as a man, you see it, and you just automatically morph into who you need to be, and she be confused, like, babe, what's wrong with you? We was just laughing and joking, now you beam mugging, you looking serious. Again, it's instinct, because that right there is necessary. Going back to Rona just said, you can't look like no lick. You can't, like, you cannot look like that people can play with you, or else people are gonna play with you. And a lot of us come from that, you know what I'm saying, environment to where like we do it so much that turns into our natural expression. So when you smile around a woman, she be like, "You got such a pretty smile. Why don't you smile more?" The environment we in do not allow for that. You smile too much in this environment, you look like a Vic. And a lot of times you're gonna get taken advantage of. So, you know, that's just for like the women who, you know, young and in relationships and just don't really know no better. That's why your man, you know, his mood may change all of a sudden, or his demeanor may change all of a sudden. That's because he didn't analyze the situation and realize, okay, I need to be on guard now. Compared to like when it was just me and you walking down the street and we was kicking it, laughing and joking, and I could be like me, jokey me, whatever the case may be. But we walked into a spot where it's 2-3 niggas that I don't know, and they look a bit, they look a bit familiar to me. So we got to snap into what's familiar for me in order to that got me out of that situation in terms of the neighborhood or in terms of where you grew up at. So that's
and
why.
Trill, not only does that apply to men, but that applies to women.
Of course.
And so that's why it's really annoying when women, especially if you live in the city, and people walk by and be like, "Smile for me." Like, no. Like, no, ain't no smiling, ain't no laughing, ain't no joking. When I lived in the streets of DC, I wasn't smiling at anybody. I walked down the street like I gotta be somewhere. Don't talk to me. Like, I'm not even trying to Nah, because that's where that girl got sexually assaulted on the train, and people just sat there and watched as he raped her.
Yeah.
On the train, and people just sat there and didn't do anything. I was just like, I'm a woman, and I still would have like did something, like even if it was just to start yelling, like, you know what I mean, like something. So as a woman, like, it's very dangerous sometimes to just exist. It don't matter what you got on. It don't matter whether you smiling or not smiling. However, the less friendly that you look, the less people will try to be friendly with you, and you won't have to deal with it as much. But then it'll turn around and say, oh, you got the resting bitch face. My face is just used to this because I'm used to walking to the metro in the morning. Like, just, but since I moved to Florida, though, all smiles. It's good.
Right. Bro, that's why environment plays a huge role. Like I done seen people to where like they'll be friendly or whatever, and they'll look friendly. And I seen one time we was on the
allegedly.
All right, I gonna tell too much, but basically we were somewhere, right, and there was a guy that approached the guy that was looking friendly, and he asked him for a light, like a lighter for a cigarette. Dude go in his pockets, look for it, and he knock him out and rob him and pat his pockets. But again, that's how fast that it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Or it could have been a gun, or it could have been a knife, or whatever. But that's how people are. But that interaction wouldn't have happened if he didn't look so approachable.
Right.
Or if he just said, nah, I ain't got a lighter, and just stared at him in the eyes. I ain't got no lighter.
That's it. Like I'm telling you, like it be stuff small like that, and it happens so fast, and which is why, like, as a woman, you got to have the utmost trust in your man, because sometimes it just ain't enough time for me to explain why I need you to do what I need you to do right now.
And it goes back to SB's point. It's like, how's it? You got a lot of women who talk about they're not being covered, but you're not willing to listen to that protection to keep you covered. Like, everything does not need a PowerPoint presentation at the moment. Sometimes we got to get the hell up out of there ASAP. Or we see something that's going on. Hey, no, this ain't it. But if you out here bringing all that noise and drama, you're bringing attention to us, like they're bringing the wolves to us. So there's a level of accountability for both men and women on that situation.
Yeah, that's real. But I appreciate you, Sandra, always, man. Sandra gonna always ask a question that's gonna derail us, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Sandra. We appreciate you. Kev with the 2-ball trail touche on the drink.
That was cold though.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate y'all, man. I tried, man. Sheldon, to follow about what we not gonna do is say squirting is a golden shower. Nope.
But that's for after dark. That's for after dark.
That is not what that is.
That's for after dark.
Through season after dark coming soon, man. We definitely gonna have SB back. We're gonna have Kayla on there. It's gonna
I'm not qualified to 10.
11:50. So that way, by the time the 10-minute countdown ends, we already at midnight.
We
Marcus,
in it.
2-ball. Thank God for that Mike Jones song back in the day. That's facts, man. Salute to Mike Jones, man. Salute to
Back then, they didn't
want me. Now hot they all on me.
Oh, okay.
Web Sling with the 10-ball. Kayla, I think the main problem is when people, mostly women, try to revise history and act like they was always down for you. Then when you remind them they weren't, they try to make you the bad guy.
Yeah. Same energy.
You're not the bad guy.
I just wasn't hot then.
You just wasn't hot then.
I just need the same energy. That's it. I need the same energy.
The same energy.
Keep your filthy hands off my new jacket.
I say, man,
when you glow up, you do change. You're not the same person that you were. And so I don't know why you would be expected to be treated the same.
No, I think
the wild part is that people expect to come around and get the same treatment from you, even though they dissed you in the past. And that's why we tell people all the time, like, after you glow up and those same people try to spin the block, you triple the price of the brick.
Hey, you been good?
Some of us have trauma with that, though.
That's
Not trauma, but some of us have seen that, not necessarily.
But that's when you should consider potential, not falling for potential, but considering the potential in someone.
You know what?
Because there are workable areas, and someone can. And this is what women don't do. They see that it is a great guy, but it's something wrong with his physical appearance. What they don't know is that this person can completely transform, because there's no ugly person. It's just people not well dressed. Period.
Well, some people are kind of ugly, but I do think that I'm sorry, they are. But I do think that some people have a certain level of trauma with the glow up, because there are people that were down for them when they was ugly, when they was broke, whatever. And when nobody was paying you no attention but me. And now you done glowed up. I got your outfits together. I got your hairline together. Now you look good. Now you making money and you getting all this attention from women that never wanted you before. When I was the one that helped you glowed up. And then you frolic off with a girl that would have never wanted you when you was nothing. This has happened. And it happens to men and women. To women that's like, before you put any money, we see how women do. Before they get with a baller, they be looking basic. They get with the baller, then they be looking fine as hell. And then they be out in the streets acting crazy. It happens to both on both sides, you know. So that is what I think some people don't want to deal with, that part.
It's maybe because you put the effort to build the other person and you forget about yourself, and then the other person gets up there. You forgot that you were supposed to be in the same path with them. Like, hey, if that person is improving, why am I forgetting about myself?
So I want to say a slight change. Instead of potential, worry about their trajectory. See where they're going. That potential is just very vague, but trajectory, you see direction.
It sounds like we just need to be nice to him.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you said, before he made it, he was just this regular guy. Now he can't trust anybody, especially the ones that hated on him when he was just a regular guy or a corny guy.
Yeah.
That's the whole basis of catch me when I'm here, because when I get high, I'm not gonna want to deal with you. And I think that's a big deal.
Still get high and still run off.
Yeah.
Especially any people in entertainment, it happens to women every day. The one that rode for you, that was with you. What was that homegirl that was with him when he was homeless in his car? She had a house that she could have went to at her parents', but she decided to be by his side and live with him when he was living in his car. And now he with some chick that probably would have never seen him if he wasn't, who was it? DJ Mustard. If he wasn't this multimillionaire, this. That girl he with now would have never dated him back when homegirl dated him.
You know
what I'm saying? And then he just out.
Trust the vision.
Look old face.
That's why I'm all about her getting hers, because
yeah, she trying to take him to the clinic.
He was huge. Like, he was morbidly obese. He was not cute. Like, and she really loved him. And now that he's that guy, he wants some Hollywood. Want some Hollywood poo nanny. So
that's why you got to date on your level, man.
She always was beautiful. So what are you saying? She should have never dated him?
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Prime time Indy with the 2-ball. No, Sandra, men carry guns nowadays. Talking about the protection piece.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Too many guns nowadays, if we're gonna be honest. Way too many shootings happening. Marcus with the 5-ball, bookmark boot.
I told you, Ronan, we gonna get that compilation. We gonna get it.
Insane. PFP social media. Why do we as women have to adjust so much? Because of toxic men. I've worn basketball shorts and still got hit on. Can't help. I got back.
This is what can we do?
Damn.
Wear garbage bag.
Ass is ass.
All right. I can't help. I got back. Sandra with the 5 part 1. Maybe this divisiveness is inflation's fault. In 1950, guys worked 40 hours, buys a house, car, vacation, wife held down the house.
No, superficiality.
Part 2. In 2023, a guy works 40 hours, wife holds down the house, plus works 40 hours for the household, turning more quote unquote masculine. Part 3, 2-person incomes required for families now to thrive. Men and women may benefit from an updated narrative versus blaming. Sorry, the glitches caused it to break the message up.
I agree with her.
Yes, a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
A lot of truth to that, sadly. But appreciate you, Sandra. All right, man. We're gonna get to the last question of the day, which is real quick. I got a just a quick question that I want brief answers for before we get to the last question. We was talking about marriage and get married young, talking about the control piece, talking about the leadership piece. But a lot of times, a lot of dudes is too young to be able to lead effectively, right? So and a lot of women are too young to be the wives that these men need if they can lead. So I want to ask y'all from an ideal perspective, what would be the age range that you would recommend marriage? Give me a 3-year window.
25 to 28, 25 to 29, I guess.
Wait, can you repeat it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I said, give me an ideal range that you feel like a couple would be actually ready to be married, actually ready to deal with what comes with that?
I'm gonna say 28 to 31.
I agree with SB.
I agree with SB. The doctor says the best age for a woman to have kids is between 25 to 28. So.
Yeah.
Mine was always 25 to 30, but for the 3-year window, 25 to 28 will be mine too. Oh, what you think?
I'm with that too. Same.
Anime?
I was at 24 to 27, so same range.
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want because again, like it's people that get married super young before they have the ability to do what the role requires.
Right.
Because marriages is a different ballgame. We ain't just signing up and we just a couple, and if it go left, we could go our separate ways. Like you signing up for a lot, and I think a lot of people don't realize that until they get in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say for like the young people watching, if they considering marriage or whatever the case may be, like at what age range should they be ready so they can, I guess, start preparing if they not or whatever the case may be. That's
Do you
why
think do you think it's the same for men and women? Because I mean 25 to 30, 25 to 28 for women. For men,
I think it depends on the circle, because we talking about the rites of passage. If he's got a good circle around him, he'd be ready more than most people. But depends. Well, her too. Just depends.
Yeah, I say yes because he not all the way established yet.
Right.
Right. Because if we talk 31, 32, now he making good money. Now I'm established, and it goes back to that I got holes in me
Yeah.
compared to if I'm 25, 26, I'm a couple years out of college. I just broke entry level at the job I'm at. I'm, whatever, accountant
You
2
got
or whatever the case. But I ain't super high, but I'm doing decent. I'm living comfortable. So now I can have this woman come in my life, and I'm not insecure about my money, and we can build properly. But I ain't all the way made it yet to where I just completely distrust her yet. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a like decent window.
An analogy I like to use is like men are like puzzle pieces. So when we start out, you empty out the box, you dump it all over, it's dumped all over the floor, and as the man goes through life, he puts those pieces together, and it's a lot easier for the woman to come in the less pieces he already has assembled. So now she can put her fingerprint on him and help him put those pieces together. Whereas if he already has most of those pieces in place, there's only so many spaces left for her to fill. And it kind of like restricts how much she can really play into, like what role she can really play in his life if he's already established most of that life puzzle by himself.
I feel that.
Yeah, I agree, because that affects how like valuable he views her as.
Yeah.
Because just like Anime say, if it's a 500 piece puzzle and I done put 495 of them together, and then you come in my life and just throw 5 pieces on the board and think you're supposed to get the respect. And it's just like,
I don't know. I just can't agree with that, because there's so many men that I know that are in early 30s and are still trying to like figure it out. Like they're still trying to get in
for
a
sure. There's
space
definitely
that
men
they
that
still
don't.
feel like. So I just at 25, just per my observation, I'm not seeing it with the men. Like around 30 is where I've seen a lot of like my peers and colleagues start to feel like comfortable in their manhood. But still literally still trying to figure it out. I know some people that switch careers late 20s, because early 20s they went to college for something that their parents said they should go for, or what they thought that they wanted based on what they thought that life was as a young person. And then they graduated from college and they started working in the real world and realized this is not me, and this is not what I want. So that's why I said for men, I do think it's like more like 29, 30, 31. And then for women, it could be younger. But my stepmom told me when I was home a couple weeks ago, she told me like that early 30s, she thinks is the best time for marriage and kids. Because she said that emotionally, you're more developed, mature, and in control of yourself versus when you're under the age of 25, 26. Just emotionally, you're still, I don't know. That's just what she told me. And her and my dad have been married for 21 years. I don't know, but that's what she said.
And definitely, Kayla, a lot of men definitely have every man has a different size puzzle kit that he comes with. Some men got a 200 piece puzzle. By 22, he knows what he's going to do. He's got his job lined up. By 26, he's killing it in the game, and other men, they get to their 40s and they puzzle not looking like a puzzle.
It's still in the box.
It's still in the box. It's still, and some men will go through life and do something crazy. They start putting the pieces together, then they just, you know what, and just throw the puzzle away, leave it scattered on the floor, do something that just ruins their life. So it's all about discernment.
But what about Shannon Sharp? He was like, "Oh, my whole life is about football, and I was so about football, and now I'm old, and I don't have anybody to share it with, and I don't have anything. Obviously, now he can have the pick of the litter, but he didn't. He focused on his career. He didn't, build anything with anybody.
Choice and consequences.
Yep.
Right. Now he has to deal with the fact that someone will be with him, just
and this
what he has and not who he is.
Sorry, Sierra. My bad.
Yeah, that right there is the risk, man. But all right, last question of the night, man, and we're gonna wrap this thing up, get on up out of here.
All right.
Title question. Are modern women really open to being led? Are they truly open to being led, or have they made so many advancements to where it's just not a realistic thing?
Hell, I'll go first. Some of them are, but I think
give me a percentage. Some of them are safe.
35, 40.
Ooh,
whoa, Lord!
Wait, what?
Ooh.
I admire your faith.
What was the question? Maybe I heard it wrong.
Are modern women really open to being led? He started out saying some are. I said no. Some is a safe answer.
Yeah.
Give me a percentage. And he
Back
said
up,
30
OT.
to 45.
Too close. Go ahead, clean it out. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Now we didn't include what type of caliber these men are that they want to be led by. You just asked if they're willing to be led.
Are they open to it?
I think I would say 35, 40% maybe. But the look on y'all face is about to make me drop that number in.
No.
I think it's only when they have certain criteria and they're willing to do it only if that man
meets their criteria,
meets those that criteria or fills those boxes, and whatever their request. But
hey, Trill, I think the better question would be, what percentage of men are modern day women willing to be led by? I think that's the better question. I think they all have a man that they would naturally be willing to let lead them. It's just what type of caliber of guy are we talking about here?
I think about 20% of the modern women, because I just think modern women just it's just a certain time that we're in. I don't think that really means anything. I think if a woman is willing to be married, then she is also willing to be led. So about 20% of them are willing and probably want to have a husband and to be covered by a man. So
20%.
20%.
That's tough. We live in a tough time.
I don't
Listen,
believe that.
what can they do if they don't have anybody? If they don't have anyone that is saying, I'm wanting to lead you, what are they supposed to do? They got to take care of themselves. They got to be adults. But if they have someone that is posturing himself as, listen, I want to cover you. I want to be with you. I want you to be my wife. And it's sincere, and then she understands that and knows that, I think that they will fall for it. And when I say fall for it, I mean as in submission, fall for it, not as in fall for it as it's a lie. It's just they'll let down their guards and fall suit to what's going on. I mean, it's happening all around us. How long have you been married, Jay?
I recently got married, to not even 2 months yet.
See, and then there's been people that's been having testimonies on my channel all day long. At least 6 in the last 5 months have either got engaged or been married, and they're young couples, and they're just excited as they can be. So it's definitely happening. It's just, we don't talk about that much. We wear the war.
Well,
we definitely need to talk about it more.
I was gonna say, I think the pitfall that we run into is that a lot of women now have the ability to do things on their own, And so when they want a man to step into that leadership position, a lot of times the relationship they're looking for is still a traditional type of relationship. So they, like, if they're at this level by themselves, they want to be able to maintain that level, like when their man steps in. So like whatever lifestyle they can provide for themselves already, they don't want their man to come take over and they have to lose that lifestyle.
But don't you
But they
think
still
that
want,
makes
but
sense?
that's what I'm saying. They still want the relationship in traditional sense where the man is the primary breadwinner.
Yeah,
But
most
they
women are
don't want that.
hypergamous. They want a man
Yeah.
that's going to
And
be where they're at
I'm
or
all for
above.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like if she's making 50,000, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, 50,000. She's probably gonna want her man to be making probably close to 70. So she knows that I can stop all of this and he can take care of everything, and my lifestyle, I don't have to lose out on the lifestyle that I had by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a
And
problem.
that just makes it harder because how many men are really out there making 70,000?
Mm,
Not a
Like
lot.
this is
high
the thing. I think it
29%,
is.
something like that.
It's not a lot. I thought it was
Not
a
a
It's
lot.
not
decent amount.
the
At least a
average man.
third.
The average man in the U.S. right now is making 52.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I think about this, because it makes sense, but at the same time, for the wrong reasons, it doesn't. Like, they don't say or explain it well. So just an example: if me as a woman, right? Let's say, example, Anime and me, we're a couple. We're in the same age, right?
Dang.
I know your wife. It's just
No, I'm
hypothetical.
laughing at that comment that just popped
Oh,
up.
okay, okay, okay.
He said,
So
"If I'm
we're the
making
same
50, you gotta
age.
make 100." Mm-hmm.
So if we're the same age,
Mm-hmm.
and I independently, I am making whatever X amount of money, but I am
Mm-hmm.
paying for my bills. I'm, being an adult, having everything covered, and you don't. Why do I have to go struggle? And I have a bed and I sleep comfortably in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to go struggle and sleep on a mattress on the floor with you just because? If
Well, no,
it
no,
makes
that's
sense, if they think that way, I think it is. But the wrong, or what I see where they're lacking of, they're like, I can buy this, I can do this, I can go here, I
mm-hmm.
can do these things for my own, and they are in debt. But in reality, there's always another man paying for these things. So that's where I see that, like, that it's not fair, because they're not giving the opportunity to this man. It's like, hey, you know what, I see the potential in you. Let's get married. Let's sleep in my bed, and let's join an account or something, and build it together from there. That makes sense to me. But women don't want to do that.
I
They
think
want to
that
Exactly, yeah,
does
because
make
like,
sense.
what I
mm-hmm.
already have and what I'm spending on, and they want the man to have everything when they're the same age, and then there's not equal opportunities for everybody, or depending on the decisions. But
So, I mean, well, I think there's a notion that most women feel that a man is supposed to come into your life to make it better, to
Mm-hmm.
add to it.
Mm-hmm.
Most women, just the way that she views you is going to be tainted if you come in and you subtract. Like, things
Agree.
are subtracting. I think that's going to taint her view of you as a leader, as a person, as a man. So I just think that most women, to me, if I'm making my money to cover me, it really should be easy for you. If I'm making my money that covers me, then you just have to take care of the house and the kids. Like, I use my money to take care of anything that has to do with me. And then your job is to take care of this house and these kids. And I think that takes the load off of a lot of the men that make the 50 to 70 or less than 100K. If you take care of your own stuff, then he doesn't have to, like, it's not as much burden on him to take care of you, and now all these other things I've added on once you add a house and add children to it. So I don't know. I would think a man would be happy that since we saying most men make 50, I would think that they would be happy because now their household income is way more than it would have been when they were single. Way more than it would have been when they were single. So I don't know. The house that y'all live in together is not something he may have been able to get when he was single. So I would think he would be happy. But
Go ahead, oh.
Did you give your percentage, Kevin?
Open to be led, I'm probably gonna say about 75%. Now who they're led by, I think there may be some disillusion to how many of those particular men exist. Because I don't think enough of them exist for the ideals that most women have for who they want to lead them. Those men just don't exist. So I do think that they're open. If that man showed up out of thin air, she would be like, "Yes, honey, you need something to drink. You need me to do something for you. I'm gonna do it." But those men don't exist, and I don't think women want to be led by something lower than their ideal or their what they think they deserve or whatever. You know.
Just so we're clear, you said 75% of women are looking to be led.
The question says open to being led. I do think that 75% of women are open to be led. They're being led by bums right now. A lot of them. They're being led by men that are going down the wrong path. I'm serious. Literally, the person that you choose as your mate deciphers and decides 70% of what will happen to you in your life. And there are a lot of women living right now lives based on decisions that they let men make in their lives, that they were following their leadership, but they picked the wrong leader. And so sometimes leadership is tainted because of that reason. They're like, last time I listened to a nigga, this is what he got me in. So not doing that again, right? But I don't know. I just think that, it's tough. I think it's tough because that knight in shining armor is just like, a lot of them don't exist. They just don't exist.
Shockingly agree with Caleb. I think
damn, why gotta be damn?
It's late. I think I'm sleeping.
It's late. It's late. He's sleep talking. That is not the real OT. That is not the real OT. That is an imposter.
But no, like she said, as far as being open, absolutely. I think majority of women, a large percentage, are open to being led. Now, who leads them?
Now, when you factor in what percentage of men they're willing to be led by, what does that number look like?
I give up. It's up there. It's high. It's 75, 80%. I think they're open. They're open to being led.
But he said really open though. Really.
Now factor in what percentage of men are they willing to be led by?
He said really open.
Exactly.
Look at him.
What percentage of less than 20%?
Breathe, though. Breathe.
I told you that's not the real OT. That's an imposter. He's struggling.
I think a lot of women are really open again, but it just has to be like the right man, right guy. I really do, and like she said, women out here being with bums for years. We preach about this all the time. Years, like you with this man 4, 5, 6 years. He leading you down the wrong direction. Your credit score is 200 points worse than what it was.
It's tax season. You want to flip your tax? Let me flip your tax.
It happens. It happens.
He might even lead them in the wrong direction. They have gone nowhere. They're not even going in the wrong direction. They've gone nowhere.
You feel me? So
quick question though, not to even cut you off. But if the type of man that she will be open to leading her is unrealistic in terms of the percentage of them available, is she really open?
Are that other percentage actually leaders, or are they just men? Because if their life ain't going good, they can't even lead their own life, but they want somebody to come in and let them do theirs too.
But see, going good is where things get a bit blurry, right?
Going good is
right.
Man
making 60,000, got a car, got a nice little crib. Some would say that's going good, but for a lot of women, that's not enough. That's average. And a lot of women look at that and say, "I'm not average. I deserve better than average. So that's why I say good is a bit shaky. But what I'm saying is from an ideal perspective, because it's like I was saying, and you said, a lot of women are open to it from the right man. But when we say the right man, that's when we get to getting into the 6 foot, the thug, that's a neuroscientist, but sensitive and caters to her needs. And he reads poetry, but he like shoots people and sells drugs back in his past. But he don't do that no more. He reformed now. Like all of these attributes make up this man. How many of these men are available? Right. So the percentage of those men that are available, if there isn't a lot, and I can tell you for all the women that's maybe hoping for that, is it's not a lot of them out there. But since there's not a lot of them out there,
the Renaissance,
and that's the only man that she's open to submitting to and to being led by, is she really open to being led?
Yeah,
because when you start looking at the numbers for this stuff, it is like we all know women like tall men. Less than 15% of men in the U.S. are 6 foot or taller. So that's already 85% of the male population. You just gave the boot. We haven't talked about how much money he makes. If you find him attractive, if he even dates women, none of this. We haven't talked about none of this, and you already just gave 85% the boot. That's crazy.
I don't think most women just want you to be taller than me. Not like it ain't even got. You just need to be taller than me. There's no like height requirement on it. You just need to be bigger than me.
I agree with that part. I agree with that part. They will.
I agree with that.
You like 5'4", like if she's like 5'3", like if you about 5'6", 5'7", when she puts on heels, but that's important to them. When she puts heels on, she don't want to tower over you. You know,
I have seen some of these girls' reactions when they ask a dude his height. The difference between if he says 6 foot and 5'11", it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
But most of the time, they don't even know how tall is it, because a guy can say, "I am 6 foot tall," and they're gonna believe it. And he probably is less than that because they don't even know what.
They really don't care.
Here's the thing. He would.
Us tall girls, we care. We care.
You can have a guy.
Some of us that are 5'8", 5'9", we care, because if you're not really 6 feet, I'm gonna be able to see it. We're gonna be here. I see, like.
But see, the wild part is that
the tall guys to the tall girls. We need them.
But hey, let's consider that. Let's add in the financial requirements, and let's dumb the options down even more.
Oh Lord,
100,000, 90,000. A lot of women is not. If he don't make at least 90, it ain't happening. So let's dwindle that down
after tax.
Right, after taxes. So what percentage of men make that?
Lord have mercy. No.
Last time I think it was
still haven't talked about
black men make 100,000 only.
Keep going.
17% black men only in the country make 100,000 or better.
And again, you haven't factored in if he's tall enough for you, if you find him attractive, if he even dates women. None of that.
He could get taller, you know. If his pockets is fat,
he can get taller.
He's gonna be tall. You feel me? So
that's all I'm saying. So I mean, if I had to give my answer, I say for the majority of women, are they really open to being led? No, because the majority of women made so many advancements in comparison to the women of yesteryear. I've been watching, but that's another conversation. I ain't really into that. But what I'm saying is that they've made so many advancements to where it's going to be hard to settle for average, or going to be hard to go backwards, especially if they are a woman that has a traditional mindset. They want to be taken care of. But if I'm making $85,000 a year and I got 2 degrees, my options are going to be slim, right? So that means I'm going to have to settle for a man that I don't respect. And even in the scenario Syed I gave earlier, in which she was saying, well, I already got the place. You don't. Why can't you just move in with me?
Right.
There's consequences to that as well, right? When that man moves in with you, in your eyes, you lose respect for him. You may not say it out loud, but it's a fact. You had to come move into my place for us to be an item. Most women are going to look at that man, and it's going to knock cool points off his scoreboard. And he's going to be insecure that I'm having to move in with my woman and he knows that the respect is lost, and he gonna start moving accordingly. So that right there kind of makes things a bit shaky. You know, I was on a panel the other day, and I said, you know, you talking about the likelihood of like women who are very much accomplished and make a lot of money, the likelihood of them going backwards in terms of control and in terms of their role. And I said that it would never happen. I asked him, I said, how many people do you know who was given a bunch of power, a bunch of control, a bunch of, you know, just power in general and everything that comes with that? How many people would willingly give that away?
Very few, if any.
Especially
that's
when
what
you
we're
work
dealing with,
hard for
right?
it.
Because if you're a woman making, let's say 100,000 or 80,000 or whatever the case may be, it's like super degreed up, all of that, and you run into a dude who making 50, and then you had a background that we spoke about earlier in terms of you always being the lead, you always making the decisions, you always doing it. It's gonna be hell for that man to have some kind of a say in that household. Everything is going to be checked. It's going to need to be thesis papers written. It's going to need to be HR reports written to validate his decision making in terms of him trying to control the finances. You make 50,000, sit down somewhere. Like, it's going to be. She may not say it.
Oh, Trill,
she's going to be thinking it subconsciously, and she's going to treat him like that. So it's like,
hey, Trill,
it's going to be hard for her to give up.
TED Talk.
Huh?
You forgot about the PowerPoint presentation in TED Talk.
Right.
Yeah. I would like Google Sheets, actually, so that we can share it and we can both edit the document and the places in the.
Hey, Trump, you didn't give your.
I'm just kidding.
It's crazy.
I'm just kidding. So, what do you suggest that she does? Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just speaking to, because the only woman that I know, like I said, my friend that works for Serena, that's the only woman that I know that makes like insane money, and all the guys that she dates makes less money than her. So I don't know. What do you suggest for those women?
But you
because
said
there's a mentality like, if I could do it and you couldn't, what makes me, how do I feel secure that you're going to manage it properly when you couldn't even do this on your own? Like, without me, I did it before you did it.
That's it. That's
you know what I mean?
Right there.
What is going to make you, no, at the end of the day, you're not getting no job without no resume. What does your track record say about your ability to handle it? That's the question anybody would ask. Nobody gonna hire you with no resume. You just pull it up like, yeah, I'm the right person for the job. Okay, why is that? Show me something.
Do you think that the person is unable to handle finances just because they haven't made it to six figures?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, damn.
Yeah.
I think there's people that can make a lot of money and be in debt.
So if you have the opportunity to make six figures, you're going to knock somebody else because they didn't have that opportunity. They may still handle finance as well. They just haven't had the opportunity to make it to six figures yet.
In America, it depends on the resources that they had. If we came from similar environments and we had the same resources, then that's how I'm going to view it. Now, if you came from something else, it may be different in terms of the support that you had. Maybe you didn't have that support, et cetera, et cetera. But if we came from the same, it's in America, there are so many different ways to make money just from your phone, for real. So to me, a man that hasn't taken the steps to figure out different plays to do it, I mean, I know I literally made $26 today. I made $26 today simply just taking receipts of the stuff that I bought in this app called Fetch. You're telling me you live in America, the most powerful world in the country. You got this phone, but all you do is on social media with it when you can run a whole business from it. People out here are lazy as shit. I don't want to hear that. We have more opportunity now than our parents ever had, than our grandparents ever had. Ever. You know how to play piano. Why are you not teaching piano lessons? You know how to do football. Why you even get a job teaching football at the rec center? Like, what are you doing with your time? You chasing hoes? Oh, because you've been chasing hoes. Okay.
But see, Kayla, let's just say, right, that it's not necessarily that he can't do it. But let's say that he making his 60,000 and he comfortable with the 60. I don't feel an urge to go get 120. My life is good. I like my life. I'm a simple guy. I got a nice truck. I got a nice crib. That's it. That's all. Like, should I be crucified for that?
No, you shouldn't be crucified. But if you want a wife and a family, then you should be striving for more so that you can. I'm just saying, if you want a wife and a family, you should be thinking in 5 years, I want to be here. In 10 years, I want to be here. I want to be able to take the burden off my wife so she can spend more time with the kids. I want to be able to provide my kids the opportunity to go to piano retreat, to go to Japan. My friend's son's going to Japan for a school trip, to be able to do all these things so that you can have the best opportunity possible. That's what my parents did. They both came from the hood with absolutely nothing.
Okay, but I think you also have to take into account what type of lifestyle are you trying to live. And because to be able for one person to make that kind of money, something's gonna get sacrificed, whether it's the relationship with you, the relationship with the kids, something's gonna get sacrificed to put in that amount of work, and somebody else is gonna suffer on the back end. And we always talk about how time with your children is more important than the money you spend on them. So yeah, you might be making all this money to send them everywhere in the world, wherever, every birthday you can send them to a different country, but they never see you. What is it worth? They living in a nice big house, got everything they can want, and they never see their dad. What is it worth? Is it worth all that?
Working smart, not hard. Like hard. I don't know why there's this thing that y'all have in America that if you work hard and if you work really, really hard, one day you're just going to have everything and it's just going to no, there's people that work hard and then they die. Mm-hmm. Like working hard isn't it. It's about working smart. It's about acquiring information. And that's what my dad has always instilled in me, that the man that comes into my life, just like he did when he come home from work to dinner, this is what I learned out in the world. This is the information that you need to know. And the more information that you have, the more access you're going to have, the more that you're going to be able to do. Working hard isn't always, there's people at Walmart that work how many hours a week? The hourly amount that they get paid is never changing, no matter how long they stay on the floor, no matter if they sweep the floor better than the person on the previous shift. Like that's not how this works. It's about also, working smart.
What age range are we asking for this man to be making $100,000 to qualify for this type of woman? Like, what age range are we looking at?
I wouldn't say it's a qualifier, but I would say like 35. I think 25 is too young. I'm still trying to figure it out. But by 10 years later, we should be somewhere. Where are we at? What have we been doing for 10 years? What have we been doing? Because I see a lot of people, people be on video games.
Making like 60 to 70,000 living comfortably by himself.
Right, but people be on video games, people be in the club. If you're only planning for yourself, then that would make sense. But a man that wants a legacy, even before he finds the wife, he's planning for it. He's saving for it. He's investing for it. That's what you should do. I would think that's what you should do.
All right, man. My percentage, because I don't think I gave a percentage.
You did not.
In terms of being open, because I said generally women are not open to being led. But if I had to give a percentage of the women who are really open, probably 15%. 15%. Yeah. In terms of like who's like really ready, regardless of their success level. If I run into a guy that I respect, I'm willing to. You got it. With no, not him having to climb up a 30-foot barbed wire fence to get to get the trust level to lead. And they just, hey, this guy's solid resume. He handles me right. You know what? You got it. Here go the keys. 15%. Yeah. All right. Did everybody get the answer? No?
Yeah.
Who
I went first.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, I think everybody went.
SB went?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she went after me. She said 20. She said 20.
Damn. I want to say 15.2. And the reason I said like with
where you get 0.2 of a person.
Yeah, how do you do that, Ronnie?
Well, I said it's just a rough estimate. And you think about it, it's not just the numbers that Anime and Trill and the brothers are saying. You look at the culture. Any woman who's looking to be traditional, a lot of them are shamed and ostracized. You hear it every day. Pygmies, mammies, whatever the hell you call it, they're out there. Then you talk about with the family. They're not teaching them to be wise, most cases, because they haven't seen anything successful, as Trill mentioned before. So you're looking at the blueprint. They have to start fresh with a language that they don't understand fully. So I say people still get married because they divorce themselves from the negative narratives in their family and the old generational curses, and they actually venture off to find a solid dude who leads them forward. But open to be led, chicks out here like they can make 100,000, million, OnlyFans, Instagram, hard-headed, looking for a man who does drive-bys on the way to Bible study. 15.2. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I think power. Just in summary, I think power is extremely addictive. It's extremely addictive. And we may not even be able to handle it, but just us having the free will to do it is addictive, especially when we've been able to establish some type of success. And then you want me to give up my control? Most people ain't doing that. That's just honest. But hell of a conversation, man. We appreciate everybody put. I told you I wasn't gonna have y'all here 5 hours tonight, man. We're gonna pay these bills and we're gonna wrap this thing up. Hold tight. Let me make sure I don't miss nobody. First and foremost, Black intellectual to 10-piece. Black women complain about not being protected all the time, but will put themselves in unprotectable situations all the time. Put yourself in a position to be protected. Plain and simple. Okay, man. Put yourself in position to be protected. I don't know if that necessarily we can tie group Black women into that alone, but the sentiment I agree with 100%. Please stop making it hard for a man to protect you, and when a man tries to protect you, accept the protection. Don't have a man risking his life in a situation like O gave, and then you go right back to the motherfucker who's abusing you or doing what it is that he's doing to you. That's crazy. And then when somebody else don't save you next time, protect you next time, well, the men ain't protecting us. Please accept the protection if you're gonna ask for it. That's all I'm saying. Appreciate you, bro. The Grid Streets 2-piece. The 35% is generous. It's very generous. That's why my eyes were wide when he said it. Very generous. Marcus 2-ball. Not no to the question. 85%. Oh, okay, so he's saying 85% of women are not.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Ted 20-ball. He didn't have a message, man. He just wanted to show some love. Appreciate you, big dog. Sandra with the 10-piece. Women mature faster, and the volumes of men just learning growth is required in 2023. It's mismatching right now. We do have money and a mindset unwilling to emotionally evolve. Loses our interest. Yeah. Well, most people do not have the attention span or the willingness to do the work that it takes to evolve. So I agree 1,000% with that.
Big facts.
Marcus 2-ball. OT, you off cold, bro. Yeah, that nigga O was wilding with that 75. I'm about to kick him off the panel. There's an imposter up here. No, I appreciate it. King Colin, 10-ball. If a woman makes 200,000 and she's a 6, she qualifies for a man that makes 60,000. The money can't make up for unrealistic expectations. Damn,
that's crazy.
Appreciate you, fam. Grizz Treats.
Is it because she is 6? Is that it? Is it because she is 6?
Yeah, but it's because she is 6, and men allegedly don't care about money. So the 200,000 does not add to your desirability level. Is essentially what he's getting at. But Grizz Cheats 10-ball. If you want a job but you never work a day in your life for less than 100,000, are you really willing to work? Terrible analogy. I quit McDonald's. I quit McDonald's. I'm not doing less than CEO. In damn school, I'm not learning nothing. That's essentially the sentiment.
Actually, I'm gonna change my percentage to
what?
13.8.
That doesn't even
13.8.
No, it makes sense, Katie. Don't do that.
No, it does not. Just because I said men that are 35. That's 15 years in the workforce. I didn't say nothing about.
No. Not talking about your example specifically. You're talking about women desiring that 1%, or I'm not open to being led by a guy unless it's the 1%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the analogy being made.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, Marcus with the 2 ball. Thanks for the caps, Ron. Salute to Marcus, man. Priceless Pay Production with the 2 ball. Our men need to work more for themselves and legacy. Yeah, I agree. That needs to be focused on way more, man. B Garnett, 20 ball. Pardon me, I mean to disrespect you, big dog. The 20 ball. It's not about how much money you make, but how much you keep as well. People out here making 6 figures but living paycheck to paycheck, while some are making 60,000 and are living hella comfortable. That's real.
Big facts.
That is real.
What
it's not
type
the income,
of
it's the
lifestyle
expenses,
are
man.
you trying to live?
Really, it is not the income; it's the expenses, bro. That's real. Appreciate it, Marcus. Again, it's a great conversation tonight. Shout out to Trill and OT for having one of the best shows on YouTube. Good night, man. I appreciate you, big dog.
Good morning, OT. You there, honey?
Oh shit!
Hot as hell on that plane. Get your ass up, boy. Don't want to care about none of that.
Don't worry. You just better be ready.
Man, I'm about to start packing as soon as I get off here, man.
I'm packed up.
Kenneth with the 10 ball. Listening to Kayla still makes me cringe. Damn, Kayla, boy, what you do to these people, man?
I don't know. I be getting under their skin. They be in their feelings.
Jesus Christ, man. Appreciate you for the donation, Kenneth, man. That's love. All right. It's been a hell of a show. Hellified dialogue. It's going to be a lot of replay value to this. Hopefully, we was able to provide some clarity on the likelihood of women, in terms of their openness to being led. And also, we gave a definition on the difference between controlling and leading. So hopefully, y'all be able to take that and, apply it to, y'all dating situations, man. Salute to Crusader Nation for being lit in the chat all night. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody that donated. All of the Mars, man. I see y'all, Miss Parker, Daryl still in the building. Everybody showing love. JC, of course. Yeah. Hell of a conversation. We're going to be back at this thing again next Wednesday, 9:30-ish. Y'all already know how we give it up.
13.8.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Can I say this? Y'all know that Franklin is controlling the situation tonight on snowfall, so we need to go check it out.
Yeah, I gotta watch that before I go to bed.
I literally still have never seen this show.
I haven't. Don't feel bad, I haven't either.
Watch it.
He is no longer in authority, but he is controlling the situation.
Okay, man. That's one thing about Franklin, man. My dog is cerebral. Yeah. He's very cerebral. It may look like he down, but he gonna always find a way to finagle back into the situation. But yeah, Kayla, you definitely got to watch it. This is the last season, I think. So
yeah, but I'm a power person. So you think I would enjoy it?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Also, OT,
I don't know. I heard it's a lot of unrealistic.
Aren't we supposed to make Trill donate to the Crusader Foundation every time they go over 4 hours? I didn't forget about that.
Well, we had 356.
We had
356. Wrap us up, man. But y'all
trying to leave us. The last time we went to 5.
Oh yeah, last time we did do 5.
Yeah, it was a long time.
That was ridiculous. You was here, OT? I thought you had slid off into the bed.
My bad. Yeah, y'all went 5 hours. I
right.
was
Correct.
Left us hanging. Gonna talk about we was on there for 5.
Right. That's why I said, hold on, OT. Was you there? Because I'm pretty sure your ass.
I did by 4.
Yeah, just keep me for 3 more minutes, and I got
it. But yeah, merch. Crewseason.com, man, for all of the merch. If y'all ain't bought the tees or the hats or the jackets or the sweaters or whatever it is that y'all like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tap in, support on that. Brand new podcast dropping Tuesday. If y'all hadn't seen the one we dropped Tuesday, make sure y'all check that out. I think that's all. Am I missing something, bro?
That's it. What you said, Jay?
I said you went in about that new gym culture.
Oh yeah,
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Big fact. Right there gonna be the next clip in the morning, man. We about to get some backlash. Nah, I ain't gonna do you like that.
Panda bears. We've been panda bears. Come on, mate. Nah, I don't care. I don't care. All of my posts that went viral have been some type of constructive criticism that they never want to take. But hey, it is what it is. That's why we at where we are today.
Yeah.
That's why.
And there we have it, man.
You better tell them.
But yeah, like I said, man, we're gonna be back at this thing next Wednesday, 9:30ish. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. And on that note, we are gone. Y'all take care, man. Love y'all.
Good night, y'all.